Give me a K. K. Give me an A. A. Give me an H. H. Give me an I. I. What's that spell? KAHI. Go Hillman!
Welcome you back to Placer High School for week 2 of high school football. It's a Placer Hillman against the Roseville Tigers. Scott Gordon alongside Mark Phantom Lowe, and this one will start off a little differently. Placer won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so they will be kicking from the east to the west. Roseville will receive. Roseville wearing their black helmets, white jerseys, white pants with orange and black lettering on there. Placer's got green helmets, green jerseys, green pants with the yellow trim alongside it. So we'll have Jackson Ramirez will do the kicking. This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies at 1221 Grass Valley Highway in the Fiddler Green Plaza. And we are seconds away from being underway with our second game of the season, and this will be a good one. The left-footed kicker is into it, and we have started. Ball is fielded about the 11. He actually drops the kick, but he's got a good return coming up the left side. He's past the 40, always up to about the 50-yard line. They're going to start around midfield, and that is number 10, Brady Rinaldo. And you see that sometimes, Phantom, when the returner drops the ball, the coverage team gets out of their lanes. They have a big return, and they have good field position to start the game. Yeah, the thing on that one is he dropped the ball, and he dropped it forward, so a Placer on-rushing defender could have picked it up. They didn't. And, I'm glad that Roseville's got the ball first, Scott, because my third key of the game, as we get around to it, we talked about the quarterback, Graydon. He's a fullback last year. He's a quarterback this year, so he's good enough to play fullback last year. He's good enough to play quarterback this year. Containing him is the key for the Placer defense. Absolutely. Roseville, the ball will be set at the 47-yard line in their own territory. Quarterback Graydon will operate from the shotgun. Ball set on the right hash. The motion man is O'Neal, and there's already a quick flag, and it'll be a legal procedure, so they'll still go back 5 yards. So they might want to contain Braden Graydon, but they got a 5 yards of legal procedure. They'll take that. Yeah, they'll take 1st and 15 for the first time they see the quarterback, absolutely. Liam Crow, the receiver, number 13, set out wide. 1st and 15. They'll send O'Neal in motion. This time they'll give it to the running back. That's Belton. Belton has a good carry. He's into Placer territory, brought down about the 49-yard line, a pickup of about 7. So they've got the ball. They run it into the boundary side, the short side of the field, and ball will remain on the right hash. 11:36 to play. First drive, Roseville Tigers against the Placer Hillman. The thing on that one, Scott, is he went about 5 or 6 yards before he encountered a Placer defender who hit him. So that's not a good sign for the Hillman against the run game on that first play. Ball spotted at the 47, pickup of about 10 actually. This will be the first throw of the game. We see of Graydon. It's a quick hitter down the outside. Complete. They pick up the first down. Number 8 is the receiver, and that is Ethan Oakleberry. He's also safety on the defender, so they're coming out. They get a good kick return, Roseville. Have a good run and pick up a first down. Now they got the ball 1st and 10, left hash, 41-yard line in Placer territory. Yeah, we talked about it last week, Scott. You got a quarterback out there playing the second game. You want to give him some easy throws early in the game, and that's what they just did. Graydon continues to operate from the shotgun. Roseville's going left to right on your radio dial. This time they give it to the motion man. That's number 4, Aaron Salas. He's got a huge pickup around the right side, all the way inside the 20-yard line before he is pushed out of bounds by number 9, Max Joyner in Placer, but not before he gets it all the way down to the 17-yard line, and Roseville's on the move. So far, give the credit to the offensive line of the Tigers because the Hillmen aren't getting any penetration. 2 running plays and a pass play. It's just been do what you want. 10 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first quarter. This drive started at the 47, a great return, and Roseville's continued to move. Brandon Graydon takes the snap from the shotgun. Running back steps to his left. He gives it to him. It's Belton. Belton is hit at the line of scrimmage, manages to get a yard or 2. Good swarming tackle that time by the Placer defense. They were up to the task there. Yeah, the first guy didn't get him, but he hit him and then slowed him down for the next 3. And the good pursuit by the Placer defense is they're finding themselves pushed back up against the wall early on in this ball game. 2nd and 7. They gave him 3 yards on the pickup. Ball's at the 15-yard line again. Roseville going left to right on your radio dial, going into the scoreboard side of the stadium. And right now it's been a heavy dose of Caden Belton, and obviously they're spelling him with Chris O'Neill and the good completion out to the side. This time Graydon operates out of the shotgun. He rolls a little bit left. He's looking for one receiver who's double covered. Ball tips and falls incomplete. It was almost a Mark Bavaro to Phil McConkey play there in the end zone as the first receiver went through his hands and almost was caught by the second receiver, number 13, Liam Crow, but it hit the ground.
Yeah, you don't usually see two receivers end up in the same area like that. The defense loves it and loves to get their hand on it, but a little bit of confusion by Roseville. And again, their second game as well with the new quarterback, so they're still working things out, and probably some new wide receivers as well.
Eric Rodarti's defense definitely up to the task there. They had three defenders in play against the three defenders in the area where there were two receivers. So first third down of the night, 3rd and 7, 15-yard line. Caden Belton moves to the left side. They're operating from the right hash. Another little skinny roll, and he's going to just keep it himself as Graydon, the fullback from last year. He's got a huge hole, and he's going to take it all the way in for a touchdown, and there's that dual threat ability that Coach talked about. We do have a flag down, so we'll see if this one's going to be coming back. Holding is the call, so that'll be coming back, and that'll negate. Jot that one down at 9:34 to go in the first quarter. That takes a touchdown off the board. Brandon Graydon, the fullback from last year, went around the left side, rolled out. It was a design run the whole way like a quarterback sweep. Took it in the end zone, but unfortunately there was holding on the play for Roseville. So the Placer defense gets another opportunity. So now you have a makeable 3rd and 7 is now 3rd and 17 from the 25-yard line.
Right, and as you said, Graydon picking his blockers and following his blockers like a running back on that play, so I'm sure they'll come back to that a little bit later. But Placer knows what it's like to have touchdowns taken off the board. They had 2 last week, and so Roseville, again, as you mentioned, 3rd and 17 from the 25.
Yeah, the pick six and the big kickoff return come off the board.
Yeah.
All right, ball set in the middle of the field, sits at the 25-yard line. 3rd and 17, Graydon rolling out again. This time he throws over the middle into traffic, but it is complete down to about the 9-yard line. It's going to be a yard or two short, so here's a decision time. Do they go for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, or do they actually go for the kick? And it looks like Coach has already made his decision as that completion was down to Chris O'Neill. Nice job of fitting it between 2 defenders there.
Yeah, and again, Graydon had a lot of time to throw back there. He did roll away from pressure, but he had a lot of time to throw, and there's no doubt they're going for it here in the first quarter. Just 4th and 1 at the 9.
4th and 1 at the 9. 9 minutes to go. 3 backs to the right. It's going to be Graydon all the way, and he is going to. I don't know if he got it. It depends on the spot. They had 3 running backs set to the right side, and he ran right behind him. It'll depend on the spot, and the way Placer's celebrating, it does not look like they got it. They're going to call for the measurement, but right now Placer is celebrating, and they did not get it. So that is a huge stop right there. You drive all the way down. You get a good kick return for Roseville. Drive all the way down to the 9-yard line and get stopped on 4th and 1.
Yeah, that's one of those times that Placer fans can understand this. You have 3 backs going through, and the first 2 would have made it, and they held it off for the 3rd guy, and they had enough people in the way. And Placer with a great stop right there, aided by the penalty, but that was a great goal line stand there on the 9-yard line.
So here comes the Placer offense. Ball will be set at the 9. 1st and 10, 8:46 to go here in the first quarter. Ball's on the middle of the field. Placer will go right to left on your radio dial. Head coach Joey Montoya is the play caller. He's in his 17th year here at Placer. Sorry, 16th year, excuse me.
Watch that. Yeah.
Aged him
you don't
a
want
year.
to age a guy a year. No way.
There's not a leap year.
We don't like that. Us old guys don't like that. Not that he's old, okay.
Congratulations to the Placer JV, who won 38-20 to run their record to 2-0 earlier here tonight. They had 3 games in a row, I believe, here today. Yep. Freshman JV varsity. It is becoming more of a rarity, fandom, to have programs that are able to field freshman JV varsity with all the specialization of athletes.
Right, so even more of a rarity. I think last week they played the JVs or the freshmen on Thursday and split it up, but with this game being on the Thursday, they didn't.
Placer turns this time out of their wing tee. They gave it to Bailey. Bailey off the right side for a short pickup, and the Roseville defense with a 4-man front, 4 backers up close. They stuff it after just 2 yards.
It'll be interesting to see how Roseville attacks it. Are they just going to sell out against the Placer running backs early in the game and make the quarterback throw the ball?
Well, they've got 4 down linemen and 4 linebackers. They even bring the safety on the backside, and this play is whistled dead before it starts. It looks like it's going to be offsides on the defense, and this will help out Placer again. It was 2nd and 8. This will bring it up to 2nd and 3. Dead ball, offsides on Roseville. So early on, maybe you're seeing that exuberance and excitement that you talked about at the outset of Roseville, trying to prove something but getting a little excited.
I think you are, and I think that's what the coach Reinking's going to just kind of reel them back a little bit, because they have a lot of that. A lot of that is positive, but they're a little bit over the edge, and it's cost them a couple of times now.
Ball set at the right hash, 2nd and 3 on the 16-yard line. They turn, they give it to Suggs. Suggs breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage. He is up almost to the 30-yard line. A good second down run, and Placer picks up a first down.
That's what we saw from Suggs last year, Scott, as he got through the hole and really made something happen. Last week, more of a workhorse back, but today he got himself a little bit of a hole and turned in a really big game.
Broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage, too. A little bit of shiftiness. Last week, as you said, 12 carries, only 42 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Bailey goes in motion. This time they go a little counter play, and it's coming back in. Looks like it's Isaiah Hanley. No, correction on that. Costa Alexic, and he's got it all the way down to the 30-yard line. They sent Baylor Kelly in motion, faked it to him, and gave it to Costa Alexic, and the ball is all the way inside the Roseville 30-yard line. A huge first down pickup.
Yeah, we talk about ball handling, and that's what's very important there, because Roseville did sell out to go after the first back and a couple of fakes, and then the counter, and Alexic breaks it off for a huge gain.
Just a note, the quarterback is Max Joyner, number 9. Josh Craycraft is the starter, will play the majority of the game, but Coach Montoya said we would see Max Joyner on the first series tonight. Ball's at the 29-yard line. Left hash, he gives it to Suggs. Suggs is swarmed at about the 27 of a pickup of about 2, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 8. A nice job defensively that time. It looked like Carson Ericart on the stop.
Yeah, just trying to go Jaden Suggs and then put him up the middle on a play that worked before, and it looks like quarterback's going over to talk to Joey Montoya after every play and setting things up, and that huge run by Alexic gave him a little bit of breathing room, but now it's the 2nd and 8.
Drive started on the 9-yard line. It's now 2nd and 8 at the 27. That's Baylor Kelly in motion. They give it to Suggs, and he's got himself a big hole. Just plows into the secondary and runs over number 8, Ethan Oakleberry, and they've got the ball 1st and goal, Placer Hillman inside the 10-yard line.
Gave credit to the Roseville offensive line earlier, Scott. Got to do the same for Placer. They are tearing it up. Remember, no Esty in there, so they're doing this next man up thing, and it's working so far. Huge run right there again by Suggs.
1st and goal, 8-yard line. The motion man goes. They give it to Suggs again. They like it. His 3rd carry of the drive is in the end zone. Touchdown! With 6:21 to go here in the first quarter, Placer, that started this drive on their own 9-yard line, goes 91 yards in the end zone. All the way, huge drive, all on the ground, and it's a touchdown run by Jaden Suggs, his 3rd of the year, the number 16, 6'4", 230-pound fullback, and it is 6-0 with 6:21 to play here in the first quarter.
It looked like he knew you said only 42 yards last week, and he was going to make it on the first drive. He was going to show people that he's not 3.5 yards a carry, and he certainly did that on this drive.
Broke a lot of tackles there. So Jackson Ramirez, the hero of last week, and he's the hero again here on the extra point. So Placer, you got to think about that defense created a lot of momentum with that 4th and 1 stop. Everyone gets excited. They put out Max Joyner. They didn't even have their starting quarterback on that drive. They go 91 yards, take some time off the clock, all with runs and score.
Yeah, I mean, we can make a little bit too much of it, but they had a replacement at quarterback and a replacement at tackle, and what happens? They went the length of the field. So there were a couple of guys in there that were going, hey, I'm getting my chance. If somebody steps aside for whatever reason, I get my chance and I'll step up. Now let's see. Roseville marched down the field the first time themselves and shot themselves in the foot. Let's see if they come back with the same approach. And remember, there was no pressure being put on the quarterback, and that's something we'll have to keep an eye on.
It's a mark of a successful program, next man up. You don't worry about putting somebody else in, and that's exactly what Placer's done here. So 6:21 to go. Placer leads 7-0. Their first possession, 91 yards for a touchdown. And now we'll have our kickoff. This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies. You can find them online at auburntrophies.com. Jackson Ramirez, the kicker, number 57, comes out from the left side. And the kick is up, and it is fielded again by number 10, Brady Rinaldo. He had a big return last time. This time he hits the wall, and he's taken down at about the 28-yard line.
He forgot to fumble this time. So everybody was on rhythm, and he tried to go their same way, but he didn't fumble it. So we're going to get you before, but still a good return from the 5 out to the 28, and let's see what Roseville does offensively.
I think you hit the nail on the head for Adam Reinking. He really wants his team to have some respect. He talked about it in our conversation all week. They were happy with the win. They had a good first drive. Can they answer right now? We'll see. They break the huddle. They got 2 receivers set left. The ball's set on the right hash. Quarterback is Brandon Graydon. He takes quick throw out to the side. He underthrows. He had an open receiver in Liam Crow and kind of just rushed that throw, and it falls incomplete. Would have been a good pickup for about 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, a lot of cushion by the defensive backs over there by Placer, and I think Coach Reinking, if he's going to say, he's going to tell, look, you guys, they didn't stop you the first time. You stopped you the first time, so go out and do it again. But an inauspicious start right there on the ball that was poorly underthrown.
2nd and 10, 6:11 to go. Scott Gordon, Mark Phantom Low. Placer Hillman lead this one 7-0. The head coach, Adam Reinking, in his 3rd year, he's going to call a timeout, try to settle his troops and get the right personnel in. They're going to take a timeout. We'll take one with them here in the first quarter. At 6:11 to go, you're listening to Placer Football at 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the Foothills.
Now back to the game.
2nd and 10. This time Brandon Graydon hits the motion man. Chris O'Neill gets him in the flat. He picks up about 9 yards, brings up a 3rd and 1. Ball is at the left hash, 43-yard line. 5:44 to go here in the first quarter.
3rd and 1. The last time they had 4th and 1, they didn't make it. I think they're going to make a point here and try to run the ball. But let's see. They've thrown the ball in the first 2 plays. I did not think they would do that.
Probably trying to soften up the Placer defensive front, but we'll see here. They've got an athletic quarterback, number 5, Brandon Graydon. He takes it, turns. He's going to keep it himself this time, right around the end. That's that quarterback sweep. He's just running people over like the fullback he was last year, and he is into Placer territory right around midfield. We got a helmet that pops off on the Placer player, so he'll have to come out. But first down for Roseville. We're getting a little bit of our answer here, how they will respond.
Exactly, and they're going to use that play. We talked about it earlier. When it worked, even though it was a penalty, they're going to put him in a position he can be successful. And unless Placer's defense can get some penetration on that play, there's really no way to stop it if he gets out to the corner like that.
Graydon, first year as a starter. He's a captain. 1 receiver to the left, ball set on the right hash. Graydon back to pass. This time he steps up, fires. He's going deep down the sidelines. One-on-one coverage. That's picked off. And guess who? Number 5, Isaiah Hanley. He's coming back the other way. His 3rd interception of the season. And gets tripped off about the 40-yard line. We got a late flag that comes in, but Isaiah Hanley, who ended the game last week with a big interception against Costa, comes up big in one-on-one coverage here. Let's see what the flag is, but it looks like it'll be 1st and 10. Placer Hillman with 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
And once again, Scott, they come out and they throw on first down, and they throw it deep on first down against the best cornerback that Placer has, the guy with 2 interceptions last week. That was a well-thrown pass, but just not far enough, and Hanley played it perfectly as they put a little air under the ball, and he cut off the distance. When it came down, he was right there and high-pointed it.
So on the return, Hanley, it'll stay with Placer, but they had a block in the back on the return, so that'll move the ball back to the 29. Really doesn't matter. They started at the 9 last time. And now we got number 7, the starting quarterback, Josh Craycraft, in. Ball this time given to the second man through that looks like Baylor Kelly, and Kelly will be tripped up after a game of about 3. So the ball's at the 29-yard line. First down pickup of 3 will bring up a 2nd and 7.
So how does that make you feel when the team goes out without you at quarterback and they go 91 yards in a couple of plays, and then you get your chance? I think Josh is out there going, okay, as he said, as we noted, the next man up philosophy is very alive here at Placer.
Penalty flag on the play. We'll wait to see what Roseville decides to do. It looks like it's on Placer. And Adam Reinking's going to decide to. Depends on what it is. Usually in this situation, you want to push them back and play the field position game. We'll see what they decide to do.
Well, last week was a lot of penalties, especially third quarter. We called it Penalty Island. A lot of penalties. You're going to expect that early in the season, but they really had an effect on the game and a quarter that we've watched so far this season.
So we've had back-to-back penalties now on Placer. One on the return because the ball was out to the 40, took them all the way back, and then they get a hold on that. So we're going to replay first down. Ball goes back to about the 20-yard line. So now you got a 1st and 20 for Placer. They're going right to left on your radio dial. Craycraft turns this time. He gives it inside. That looks like number 11, Baylor Kelly. And Baylor Kelly's got himself an edge. He's going all the way down. He's got a huge run down the far sideline. And the ball is now spotted at the 45. That was a huge run, a great answer on a 1st and 20.
Yeah, I got to think that Craycraft was pulling out some wizardry behind the line of scrimmage because I couldn't see what was going on. All of a sudden, here comes Kelly out the right side, and nobody's around him, and he makes the play like he made last week. So a huge play by the Hillman, taking a 1st and 20, turning it into another 1st and 10.
Kelly had 15 carries for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. Ball's on the right hash. Quick snap. This time they give it to Suggs. Suggs is met at the line of scrimmage. He probably picks up 1, maybe 2. Carried a tackler forward, but Suggs was the go-to man on the first drive. It'll bring up a 2nd and 8. 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
And that's the kind of handoff that he was had last week when he had 3.5 yards a carry, but he took it a little bit farther so far in the first quarter, but Roseville gets up and stopped him after just a gain of 2.
Quick break. Craycraft this time's going to pass his first one of the game. Throws it outside, and the ball is dropped by number 2. Dash Tebbs tried to run before he caught it. It was a good throw by Craycraft right in the hands of Tebbs, and that one was dropped and a missed opportunity there. Now they got 3rd and 8.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to cut back against the grain, and he started to cut back before he had the ball. Again, we talk about it all the time. Craycraft getting an easy throw, relatively easy throw early in the game. He goes about 10 yards in the air, and it was pretty much on target, but just dropped by his receiver, and receivers dropped the ball, so now we come out with a 3rd and 8.
They're running so effectively, it really opens up that pass. 3rd and 8. They turn this time. They give it to the second back through. That's Costa Alexic. Alexic is going to cut back, and he breaks the tackle at the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Hillman, what a job there. Survived the holding penalty and the block in the back, and they put the new quarterback, Josh Craycraft, the starter, back in, and Costa Alexic, a great run. He cut it back at about the 30, broke a couple of tackles, and 3:34 to go here in the first quarter, and the Placer Hillman have a 13-0 lead pending the extra point. And
they're calling all the right. It looks like they're dialing the right plays up. You know, every time the guy comes through, like at that time, the third guy threw when the first 2 cleared out, and he had a great hole to go through. Made a great cutback and blocks all the way down to the goal line by the Hillman.
Jackson Ramirez on for the extra point. The holder is number 9, Max Joyner. Ramirez with a great game last week. 4 extra points, a touchback, and the game-winning field goal. So it's 13-0, 3:34 to play. Snap is down. Kick is up, and it is good. And with 3:34 to go here in the first quarter, the Placer Hillman are exerting themselves. They lead this one 14-0, Pam.
Yeah, what we've seen, Scott, is Roseville came out and ran the ball effectively and got in their own way. And Placer came out, ran the ball effectively and scored. Roseville came back, and instead of running, they kind of turned to the pass there a little bit. And they threw the interception. Placer comes back and goes, if it ain't broke, I ain't fixing it. They throw one pass, which is dropped, but they run the ball the whole way and give another big round of credit to those offensive linemen who, in the absence of Xander Esty, are really pulling up their trousers and going out to work.
Isaiah Hanley with his 3rd interception of the season. And, again, every time they got a turnover last week, they turned it into points. They do it again tonight.
Yeah, Cole Owens was the guy last week that Isaiah was playing against, and Cole had one big play, but for the most part, Hanley did a great job. And Liam Crow, the 6'3" wide receiver for Roseville, seems to be Isaiah's target this week. And when he goes after you, he pretty much has you covered.
3:34 to go. First quarter, Placer Hillman 14, Roseville Tigers nothing, and they got the ball first. So trying to get the right bodies on the field for Jackson Ramirez. Running on late is Isaiah Hanley, who had the interception that set up the score by Costa Alexic. Now we're ready to set to play. Ref blows his whistle. Ramirez, the left-footed kicker, And a new return man back at about the 5-yard line. And the kick is up, and that will be fielded on the other side at about the 5. Running up into the wall, breaking it, same return, even though he changed sides, was Brandon Ronaldo. That's his 3rd return of the night, and that was the best coverage so far by the Placer Hillman.
Now let's see what approach Roseville goes with. It's still only just barely over 6 minutes into the game, so they can go back and start the way they started the game, which is, trying to control the ball a little bit more, or they can let Graydon try to throw the ball, and I don't think that's their best play so far is when he's run the ball himself. So let's see what Coach Reinking decides to do here.
When Caden Belton runs and when Brandon Graydon runs, they get good plays. So here we go. Ball's in the middle of the field at the 24. They turn, they give it inside. That's number 4, Aaron Salas, and he picks up about 6 on the inside give.
Hand off to one back, he hands it to the other back, a little misdirection, trying to get something going on the ground, and that's what we're looking for from Roseville on this drive, is they've got to, it's early as we said, but they got to make a mark a little bit because they've gone down 2 touchdowns here.
Well, and they started off, they had the ball to start, drove all the way down, so you realize Placer's going to get it to start the second half. You need to put a cuff on the bleeding. 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Ball on the left hash. This time, Graydon takes it, he rolls right, he's going to keep it, he's going to run, lowers his shoulder, and picks up the first down out to about the 35, 36-yard line, brought down on the play by number 2, Dashton Tebbs.
And it looks like, Scott, that, they did it the first drive, but it looks like they're using that play to set up. He can roll out, he can throw it from that play. It's been a successful play for them already, going to the right for Graydon, and they can try that and throw off that too, and I look for them to do that later in the game.
It looks like it is a run-pass option. The ball set at the 35, right hash. Roseville going left to right in the radio dial. Brandon Graydon will operate from the shotgun. This time a quick throw, good one, down below, complete to Liam Crow, who runs a curl route. Ball is complete at the 41-yard line for a pickup of 6. Defending on the play was number 5, Isaiah Hanley.
Well, you've played a little quarterback. Is that a confidence builder right there? Is that what Coach is putting that play in for?
It's a very good throw. That's the old, there's a 1, a 2, and a 3 throw. 1 throw is on a frozen rope, but 2 throws over the backer in front of the safety. That was a 1 throw, a frozen rope.
It really was. Well thrown ball.
2nd and 4, ball spotted at the 42-yard line, left hash. This time he'll operate from underneath the center. Now he backs up. Brandon Graydon has taken all of his snaps from the shotgun. Motion man, they turn, they give it to him. On the sweep, coming around the right side, breaking a tackle and picking up the first down is number 12. That's Caden Belton. This time they operated with him, not behind, but brought him in from the slot.
Right, and it was a good run, and it was a good play by the Placer defense. It was a one-on-one tackle, and he brought the guy down. Unfortunately, he got the yardage needed for a first down.
1:53 to go here in the first quarter. Placer leading it 14-0. Roseville started this drive at the 25, picked up their 2nd first down. Ball is spotted at the 47.
I think maybe they're very determined to try to mix it up, trying to throw you some pass and show you some run. They're doing that for this game, but maybe doing it for the rest of their season as well. Because they have a new quarterback, he's still trying to get a feel for their position.
Bunch formation to the right. Motion man goes right to left. This time drops back to pass. Middle screen over the middle. It is snuffed out very well by the Placer defense. They tried to change up some things and give it to, it looks like, number 12, Caden Belton. And it was a screen pass, one of those middle screens on the boundary, but no way. Placer sniffed it out. They actually lose yards on that.
We talked to Coach Reinking, as you know, Scott, earlier in the week, and he's talked about trying to get his quarterback in more of a shotgun situation. And when you do that, obviously, you're giving him more room to look over the field to throw the ball. So I think maybe the reason he wants to do that, he really wants to balance out his offense and use his quarterback to throw the ball as well as run the ball.
Since he threw an interception, too, he's trying to give him high percentage throws, and there's one of them right there. 2nd and 11. Ball is on the right hash. Bunch formation left, receivers left. This is a quarterback sweep the whole way. Picks up a huge block, breaks the tackle, and he's gone. Brandon Graydon taking it all the way to the house, and that will be a touchdown. Roseville has answered with 25 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And Brandon Graydon, what they did, as you saw, Phantom, they had 3 receivers set to the left. They just had Brandon run right behind him. He broke a tackle about the 40-yard lines and really showed some speed taking it to the end zone.
Yeah, it was an excellent run, but the Placer defensive backs, the linebackers, are going to be blaming themselves after this one because there were a couple of guys that hit him. He would have had a decent game, but nothing like that, and they hit him and they didn't bring him down. And if you're going to get a guy who's going to get out on the wing like that, you got to bring him down when you get the chance.
Joel Bradley will come on. He does the kicking. 25 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. So with 25 seconds to play in an entertaining first quarter, Roseville has answered. Placer was up 14-0. It's now 14-7.
Right, and they did it. They came out and they had to make a statement. I'm still kind of amazed by the way they're approaching the game and kind of their mixture of run and pass, but obviously they get the touchdown. And what they're doing with that mixture is they're giving their quarterback time to operate back there because Placer doesn't want to overcommit to the run or overcommit to the pass, and they're getting time to do either. But again, that one, a good run, but a run that should have been brought down after about 8 yards.
I think what you're seeing is Brandon Graydon, the quarterback, is more comfortable running.
Yes.
And the more he can run around the outside on both sides, that means the defense can't key up the middle and is actually, potentially opening up some things down the road. He did have a couple of good completions on some short passes, but really it's his ability to run that picked up the first down and then the touchdown.
Yeah, right now it's his ability to run that makes him special. Now that may change later in the season when he gets more, games under his belt at quarterback and throws more balls, but right now it's the run that makes him special.
This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies at 1221 Grass Valley Highway in the Fiddler Green Plaza. The kick is off, and it is fielded by Baylor Kelly at the goal line. He's going to bring it out, breaks the tackle, and looks like he's brought down around the 23-yard line. That's where Placer will take over offensively, leading this one 14-7, 18 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Pretty good coverage by Roseville on that because Kelly looked like when he got the ball on about the 3-yard line. He was kind of surveying the field and kind of picking and choosing where he wanted to go, but Roseville closed the holes up very quickly.
Took one to the house last week, unfortunately brought back. So Placer now, what will they do as their offense breaks? Craycraft is back in at quarterback. Kelly in motion. They go with the double reverse. Kelly gives it to Alexic on the inside reverse, picks up about 2 or 3. That'll bring up a 2nd and 6, and there's their Baylor Kelly in motion. Hand it to him. He turns and hands it off inside to Alex Alexic, picks up 3.
And that'll be the end of the quarter. This is another key. It seems like we say it for every drive in the first 2 games. It's a key drive, but it really is because Roseville answered, and now you've got to come back.
We are 1 quarter in here at Lefebvre Field on the campus of Placer High School, and it is Placer leading this one 14-7. And real quick, like we do at halftime, let's review what your 3 keys were to the game and how that's breaking down right now.
You're going to make me find them, okay? Well, we talked about Baylor and the backs. Is Baylor going to be, are the backs going to be able to do what they did last game? So far, I'd have to say they were, and I give a huge nod on that one to the offensive line because they're opening up the holes. Roseville has a chip on their shoulder. We've seen that, and I think we saw that early. It hurt them, I think, that little over-exuberant, as you pointed out, and now they come back and kind of ride the ship. And the interesting thing, I would love to talk to Coach Ranking after this game, maybe a couple weeks after, and find out if he's actually, what is he doing as far as, is he experimenting a little bit with his offense in this game because he has a quarterback he knows can run, and he wants to see if he can pass, and he's kind of doing both of them right now.
And you got to think part of that is last week they did absolutely everything they wanted against Oak Front. They put 35 points on them in the first half. They know they've got a legitimately strong opponent here. Let's pass, let's run sweeps. And the third key, of course, was?
Well, the third key was contain the Roseville quarterback, and so far they really haven't done that to our satisfaction.
2nd and 7, they'll flip field, so now you've got Placer going left to right on your radio dial. This time they give it to Kosa Alexic on the counter reverse. He takes it up just short of the first down. It'll be a 3rd and 1.
My honorable mention for keys of the game was next man up with Nose Andressi, and I think so far that's the way it's worked out for the Placer Hillman.
Last week it was really more Kosa Alexic and Baylor Kelly, and Jaden Suggs actually was the go-to man on the first drive. He put in the first touchdown. Touchdowns tonight so far by Kosa Alexic and Jaden Suggs. At 3rd and 1, this time they give it to Suggs, and he just powers his way up the field. He's actually hit at the line of scrimmage. It just carries him forward for 4 yards. First down, Placer Hillman.
That's kind of the one thing that he can do that the other backs can't do, at least as well, is just use his body and run through tackles and get you that 1 yard when you really need that 1 yard.
Ball's almost in the middle of the field, set at the 36-yard line. 11 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Placer leading it 14-7. Placer breaks the huddle, wearing their green helmets, green jerseys, green pants. Josh Craycraft, the quarterback, moves his receiver further out to the right. He drops back to pass, 5-step drop, throws. It's to the tight end. That's complete. Nice throw and catch for about 15 yards. That is to number 3, the tight end, Josh Maxwell. He had 2 catches last week for 49 yards, picks up a first down here.
I know you appreciate that one as a quarterback, Scott, because they sent the wide receiver down the field and they opened it all up and sent Josh out on a deep out, and he was wide open. A good throw to give your quarterback, and Craycraft made it very well, and Maxwell, the sure-handed tight end.
Both throws by Craycraft have been on the money so far. 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard time. They give it to Bailey inside. This one is sniffed out by the Roseville front. Tried a little counter play, but Roseville was right on it as the ball sits right at the Placer symbol at the 50-yard line. Nothing there. They'll go 2nd and 10.
It looked like the middle of the defensive line just kind of stayed home and waited. The counter play, here comes Baylor Kelly, and here they are, all 3 of them waiting for him, and he couldn't get away.
Last week, Placer rushed for 341 yards, had over 8 yards per carry, and threw for 168. Pretty good balance against a pretty good opponent. 2nd and 10, ball spotted at the midfield. This time they turn and give it to Baylor Kelly. Kelly is hit again at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. He might have lost a yard. They're going to spot his forward progress, maybe a yard, but it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9.
And this is what we talked about earlier. Roseville coming in here. The coach knows he has a bunch of tough guys, and he goes ahead and they come out and they make a stop like that. So they're kind of filing themselves here, but we do have a flag on this play, which is huge.
Oh, a face mask is the call. I actually think they might have called offsides for the 5-yard penalty because in high school, face mask is 15. So they'll reset the change. It's 2nd down and 5.
I'm old enough to remember when there were 2 face mask penalties. If you didn't really mean to do it, they gave you 5. I don't think they brought that back, though.
Right hash. This time they turn, they give it to the second man through, and for the 3rd play in a row, that Roseville front. And I'll tell you, Joey Bagley, the linebacker, it's almost like he was in on the play call. He came in and hit Baylor Kelly as he was getting it. That'll bring up a 3rd and 6. The defense the last 3 plays for Roseville has really been staying home and making their plays.
It's almost like they sold out on Baylor Kelly, and they said, we're going to just stay and wait for you. You're going to hand it to him sooner or later. We're just going to wait and see. Let's see if Craycraft has enough confidence after that throw he had to Maxwell a minute ago to go ahead and go to the air on this 3rd and 6.
Quarterback Josh Craycraft gets the play from Joey Montoya, comes out. We'll find out if this is 4-down territory or not, whether they run here or they actually go with the pass. They turn, they fake, it's play action, quick throw out to the sideline. Baylor Kelly catches it and he picks up the 1st down. Ball was caught, a really good throw. You know, Craycraft tonight has thrown the ball 3 times. He had 1 drop and 2 completion, and that one too, Baylor Kelly right at the 40, knew where the sticks were, picks up the 1st down.
The interesting thing is he caught it a little bit ahead of the sticks, but I think he just wanted to get the ball in his hands with a little bit of space because they've been crowding him the last 3 times he got the ball. He got a little bit of space, broke a tackle, and got a big 1st down for the Hillmen.
8:45 to go. Placer leading 14-7 with the ball. They have it in Roseville territory. This time they go play action. Craycraft throws, and he goes a little too tall. He had an open receiver, was the tight end, Josh Maxwell, running unattended. That would have been a big pickup, but that ball was a little bit high.
Yeah, basically the same play they ran earlier to get Maxwell open. They had an additional receiver short this time, and they put Josh in the intermediate spot, but just a ball that was thrown a little bit too high over his head. But a good play call and good confidence that Craycraft let it fly.
That's his 5th throw of the night so far, 3 for 5 to start. Ball is on the right hash, 37-yard line, 8:38 to go. Clock stops with the incomplete pass. 2nd and 10, Placer leading 14-7. There's no back this time behind. Baylor Kelly goes in motion. He takes the handoff. He's got a little bit of an edge. He breaks the tackle at the 30 and goes all the way down to the 10-yard line. That was a unique formation. The first time I've seen that, Phantom, with nobody in the backfield. They send him in motion. He runs it into the boundary all the way down to about the 9.
Well, Joey Montoya's over there going, you don't think I have a play, so I don't want to keep him in the middle because you know he's going to go there. I'll get him the ball to the outside. Good blocking on the outside by the Placer wide receiver and the tight end on that side, giving him a chance to get out to the right side and make that big gain.
Looks like this ball is spotted at the 11. Placer can still get a 1st down with about 8 minutes to go. Craycraft runs in. Good pickup that time by Baylor Kelly. As we mentioned last week, he had 3 touchdowns and 219 yards. Break the huddle. They're in their traditional wing tee. This time they give it to the second man through. It's Baylor Kelly again, and he is stopped after a pickup of about 2. First fake handoff was Jaden Suggs. Wouldn't have got anything. KAHI picks up about 3.
Yeah, it's kind of from our angle here, Scott, but it looked like when he handed off to Kelly that there was a hole there to get to. Maybe he didn't get to it quickly enough, or they just closed it up. But it looked like a pretty good play call right there in that situation. As you mentioned, the first back through got smothered, and the second guy looked like he had an opening.
7:30 to go, second quarter. Ball spotted at the 7-yard line. Again, Placer can pick up a first down. They have the ball at the 7-yard line of the Roseville Tigers. This time Josh Craycraft is directing traffic. He moves his receivers to the right. Turns, gives it to Suggs. Suggs has it inside. He carries it all the way down. He looks like he at least got the first down, maybe into the end zone. And this is really a night where Jaden Suggs is really not going to be stopped.
You know, I was impressed on that one by Craycraft. He had a couple of guys that weren't where they were supposed to be, and he let them know, and they got him in the spot. And a lot of times you see younger quarterbacks, they move guys, and then they snap the ball too quickly, and they get a motion call, and he did not do that. And Suggs, another good run. As you said earlier, he's showing people. He's not 3.5 yards to carry.
We saw that last week. They had two or three times they had illegal shifts, illegal procedures. Obviously something, a point of emphasis this week in practice. First and goal, the ball's on the 1-yard line. They'll snap this with under 7 minutes to play in the second quarter. Turn, they give it to Baylor Kelly, the second back through. He's into the end zone, touchdown, and Placer has answered. They go up 20-7, an impressive drive after Roseville put some points on the board. And with 6:54 to play here in the second quarter, it is Placer 20 and Roseville 7 with the extra point pending.
Impressive drive for Placer, but again, a penalty in the middle of it for Roseville. They've really shot themselves in the foot a couple of times. That's just the second game of the season, but they've factored a lot in the outcome of the game so far.
Now they had their own penalty that negated a touchdown on their first possession. Jackson Ramirez, the extra point. The kick is up. It is good. That's his third extra point of the night. And with 6:54 to go, Placer leading this one 21-7. Scott Gordon alongside Mark Phantom Lowe. And so far, Phantom, every time Roseville has punched, it's been Placer punching back. And this game started, Roseville had the ball, got the kick, drove it all the way down. They got stopped on a fourth down call, which is almost like a turnover. Placer goes down and scores, then they get points off a turnover the second time, and a really impressive drive there to put them up by 2 scores.
Absolutely. Not only did they get stopped, but they gave it away on, as you mentioned, the penalty that the touchdown was called back on. So that was frustrating in a couple of ways for the Tigers. They come back, throw a long pass, get it picked off. They go down 2 touchdowns. Then they come back and they make a statement as well, which I think they're going to try to make another one right now. And the Hillmen come back and they had a little bit of stuttering on that drive as well. They missed a guy who was open. They had a couple of penalties, but they came back and they got the big play. Kelly getting to the outside, and that was, I think, the key to that drive.
That 5-yard penalty was pivotal. That Roseville defensive front had 3 plays in a row where they had negative plays and really shot themselves in the foot. But Placer took advantage of the opportunity. 6:54 to play, second quarter. Placer leading this one 21-7. Jackson Ramirez getting ready to kick off. This kickoff is brought to you, as all are, by Auburn Trophies. You can check out Auburn Trophies at auburntrophies.com. Kick is off, and it is kicked. This time it is fielded at about the 3, running up the field around the outside. He's got a good stepper, and that's number 6. Christopher O'Neill had 2 touchdowns last week. I do not see a flag on the field, Phantom, and that's a big return, kind of similar to the opening return, all the way out to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, it seemed like the Placer special teams was kind of like they thought they had him cornered, and all of a sudden he put on the jets and was around the corner, and they couldn't make the play on him. So impressive play by Roseville, and one they really needed right here with just 6:45 to go until halftime, and they got a 2-touchdown deficit.
Actually spot the ball back at the 43, but still an excellent return by Chris O'Neill, almost a 40-yard return. He kicked it up at about the 3, broke container around the outside, so the ball is set on the right hash. Roseville's going right to left on your radio dial. Their quarterback is the senior number 5, Brandon Graydon. Standing next to him, number 12, Caden Belton. This time he throws a quick hitter. It's complete. That's Liam Crow. And you can see now with all of the room they're giving Crow on the outside, that's a play that they're going to pick up 10 yards on every time.
Yeah, it does a couple of things. It gets you 10 yards, it gets your first down, and gets your quarterback some well-needed confidence, and also gets that combination of him and Crow another chance, some more reps for them. So a lot of positives in that play for them. We talked about the cushion earlier in the game, and that time they took advantage of it.
1st and 10. Ball is now on the Hillman 44-yard line. 6:22 to go. Roseville has the ball. 2 receivers set left, 1 right. Running back stands to the left. This time he's rolling out Braden again. He steps up. He is going to take a pretty big hit. Nice job defensively that time. Coming up and making the play is number 3, Josh Maxwell, from his middle linebacker position. And that time, Brandon Graydon looked a little bit indecisive of what he wanted to do. He rolled right, wasn't sure he wanted to throw or run, and he took some punishment for it.
Yeah, he rolled over to us, so he's running to his left side, so he had to throw across his body. And the one thing you don't want to do is, you point out, if you're running that option, you don't want to hesitate. And Maxwell took advantage and showed some pretty impressive closing speed there as well.
Timeout, Roseville.
Timeout taken on the field by Roseville. We'll go ahead and take it with them with 5:38 to go here in the first half. Placer Hillman leading this one 21-7.
You're listening to Friday Night Football in the Foothills on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI.
5:38 to play, second quarter. Placer Hillman 21, Roseville Tigers 7. Scott Gordon alongside Mark Phantom Lowe. Roseville's got the ball, 2nd and 11 on the Placer 46. This time they roll out. It's a design run to their quarterback, Brandon Graydon, and he runs downfield. He was a fullback last year, and it looks like he's still going, and looks like he might have been brought down before the first down marker. He continued to carry tacklers, but it'll be a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, you talked about showing indecision on the previous play. He showed no indecision. I think the coach goes, look, you're going to run the ball around the right side, and that's what we're going to do. And again, it taken a couple of Hillman to bring him down, breaking a bunch of tackles. I know he's 6'3", but 185 pounds, somewhere around there. So he's a tough runner, but you got to knock him down the first chance you get.
3rd and 1, big 3rd and 1. Ball spotted at the 35-yard line on the right hash. Roseville will send their receiver wide left. That's Liam Crow breaking the huddle. This time Brandon Graydon's going to operate from underneath the center. Quarterback sneak picks up the first down easily as he gets about 4 yards before he's met by a host of linebackers, but that's a first down pickup. 4:47 to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and he's getting into this is his atmosphere now. He's used to this. Like, it's 3rd and 1. I'm a fullback. That's what I do. So Placer has to keep him in situations where he's not comfortable being a quarterback, because if you get him in positions he's comfortable as a fullback, then you're in trouble.
Came up under center, took the quick snap, ran between the guards, picked up the first down. So 1st and 10, ball is on the 31-yard line on the far right hash of the Placer Hillman. 4:20 to play here in the second quarter. This time Brandon Graydon will operate out of the shotgun. He turns, he gives it inside to Belton, the running back. Belton brings it back, cuts back inside, picks up about 3 or 4, but the Placer defensive linebackers are right there where they need to be and stop that run after a pickup about 3 or 4.
Yeah, you nailed it, Scott. The defensive line was there. They waited for Belton, and they went ahead and then brought him down on first or second contact, which is the critical thing to do in this game against this ball club, and put the quarterback in positions where it's not, a 2nd and 7. Maybe he has to think about putting the ball in the air.
3:45 to play. One thing to watch, Phantom, is Roseville's only down to 1 timeout. They've taken 2. They've got 2 receivers set left, no receivers to the right. Brandon Graydon's going to roll out this time. Looks like he's looking to throw. He's got an open receiver. He finds him. That pass is complete. That's Chris O'Neill, and good little sidearm throw to O'Neill, and O'Neill's got the ball. They are down inside Placer territory, inside the 10.
Look like on that situation, give credit to the Roseville play design. They had more receivers than Placer had defenders. Now, the Hillman did bring the heat, and maybe that's what the discrepancy was, but if you're going to bring the heat, you've got to go ahead and lower the boom, and they could not do it that time in a fine throw.
This time the ball's set on the left hash, 9-yard line. Graydon's going to roll out. He's running the whole way. There's that quarterback sweep. He turns the corner, and it looks like he got in. So 2 touchdowns tonight for Roseville, both of them on the quarterback sweep. It's the senior Brandon Graydon, 6'1", 185, the captain, number 5. And Roseville answers with 3:07 to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, it looks like they've got their blueprint. They've got a quarterback who's a great runner. We're going to go ahead and have him throw enough passes to keep everybody honest and try to get into situations where we can utilize his running.
That drive was a good mix of pass and run, some good conversions. That 3rd down conversion on the quarterback sneak was a big one. 3:07 to go. Joel Bradley will come on to kick the extra point. Snap is it, kick is down, the ball is up, and it is good. So 3:07 to play in the second quarter, Phantom, and look now, it's 21-14, and what's pivotal about this drive for Placer, they lead by 7, but they get the ball first in the second half. You got to think, if you're head coach Joey Montoya, you want to run a bunch of clock here, punch one in, and then get it in the second half.
Yeah, let's see how the kickoff return affects what they decide to do. But just as an aside, we've seen a game and a half almost now. We've only seen one extra point missed in 2 games by both teams. And that's not – I watched some bad football last year. That wasn't the way that things worked. So I want to give some credit to the kickers and the special teams snapper and the holders of all the teams we've seen so far, because they are nails. Plus, we've seen a field goal made.
Note the time, 8:39. Broadcaster's jinx. I'm just going to write that down.
Oh, I like that.
We've only seen one. We've only seen one extra point missed, though. You're exactly right. Two great games.
Hey, broadcaster jinx. Broadcasters are supposed to tell you information. If you go out and don't follow that trend, that's not my fault.
That's true.
Okay? Come on. I got enough stuff in my life I can be blamed for. Don't get that on me.
3:07 to play. Placer leading 21-14. This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies. Auburn Trophies can be found at 1221 Grass Valley Highway in the Fiddler Green Plaza. Kick is high and actually rolls past Baylor Kelly into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and a little bit of indecision there, and that's going to give Placer the ball on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, sometimes if you kick it to the 10, it's better than kicking it to the goal line, because the receiver doesn't know exactly what he wants to do with it, and he goes right by him. So here we go. Like you said, 3:07 to go. You don't want to give the ball back, obviously, to Roseville, but let's see how the Hillman can do in this situation, as they could have 2 straight possessions.
Placer Hillman lead 21-14. 3:07 to go. They have all 3 of their timeouts. They have not punted yet tonight, and they have a turnover. Ball is spotted on the left hash, 20-yard line. They go no backs, give it to Baylor Kelly in motion, and he is met in the backfield. Great defensive play right there by the number 2, Carson Ericart, was right in there with him. And it's a loss on the play, Phantom.
Yeah, and obviously what they've decided is keep Baylor Kelly between the hash marks. If we can keep him between the hash marks, we can gang tackle him and not let him get out there. But if he gets out on the corners, that's where he's so dangerous. So that's where Hillman are going to try to scheme to get him, and Roseville doesn't want him. 2nd and 12, ball spotted at the 28. This time Craycraft goes back to pass, steps up, throws, flag down on the play, intercepted. Ball is picked off by number 10, Brady Rinaldo, and Rinaldo takes it all the way down to the 8-yard line. Let's see what the flag is here, though, as last week we saw a pick 6 negated by a penalty. Right, but that one was I thought that flag was thrown before he threw the ball, so I think it's going to be a holding call.
Oh, the interception's going to stand. That's the 3rd one of the season for Craycraft. The call was holding against the Hillman, and that's a critical turnover there, because they're trying to run the clock out. Now with 2:24 to go, Roseville, even though they're down 21-14, has the ball 1st and 10 at the 10.
Yeah, and that looked like a time where he threw the ball, and there were more defensive backs than there were wide receivers, and he was trying to make something happen desperately because they wanted to keep the ball the rest of the half.
Brady Rinaldo, the senior, number 10 for Roseville, intercepts it, has a good return all the way down to the 10-yard line. Roseville has a chance. No, they do not. They cannot pick up the first down. The ball spotted at the 10. It's on the right hash. They're going right to left. Man in motion. They give it to him. Cuts up inside, and he is in the end zone. That is number 12. Caden Belton, the running back, in motion. There is a flag bound the play. This could be negating it, and it is. It's a hold. So that's not the second touchdown of the night that's been negated. Holding. It'll be 1st and goal from the 20.
Be 1st and goal from the 20, and you're right. The second touchdown they've lost, and that one was a kind of a slow developing play, and a good chance for someone to hold because he went around the left end. But again, the ease with which he went out there has got to be alarming, even though there's a flag on the play to the Hillman, because Roseville offensively is pretty much getting what they want right now.
Ball spotted at the 19-yard line. It's a spot foul, so 1st and goal at the 19, Roseville. Ball sits in the middle of the field. Roseville going right to left in your radio dial. They trail this one. Placer leads it 21-14, but Roseville is threatening with about 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Brandon Graydon, the quarterback, operates from the shotgun. He fakes the handoff, rolls out. He's under pressure, and he's going to go down. Defensive coordinator Eric Rodarty sent a blitz on that package, and it was a great defensive play as Brandon Graydon had absolutely nowhere to go. So a drive that started on the 10 is now back at the 22.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they sent somebody. The guy they sent didn't get the quarterback, but he flushed the quarterback back to where his teammates were, and they got him, and he could not pick up a receiver. I'm not surprised they went to throw. I thought they might try to go to Crow in the corner or something like that, a one-on-one with a wide receiver that's 6'3", but give Hillman credit. Maybe they snuffed that one out and figured out he was going to do that, and that's why they sent the extra guy.
Ball spotted on the right hash. Roseville operate from the shotgun. Ball's at the 22-yard line of the Placer Hillman. Second and goal. This time they run a delayed draw. Giving up inside and breaking tackles and making his way all the way down to the 10 is Caden Belton, the 5'7", 164 senior. He might be small, but he can run tough.
Yeah, 5'7", and he broke about 5 or 7 tackles on that one. Not a lot of good tackles, a couple of grab tackle attempts on that one. So a good play call by Roseville, as I think they thought the Hillmen were looking for the pass, and they did the delay.
Gives them an opportunity with their kicker has a pretty strong leg. If they do have a field goal, it makes it a much more manageable one. So third and goal from the 10. Less than a minute to play here in the first quarter. You know, you get the sense that Roseville might run the clock down, take their final timeout, and try to punch it in. We'll see. They set their receiver out wide right, ball set in the middle of the field. Quarterback Brandon Graydon, he rolls out. You give him the option. He falls down and slips at the 14. They were trying that quarterback sweep again, but this time the Placer Hillman adjusts well, and he does not get anything.
Yeah, the encouraging thing there, Scott, is they did the rollout like you said, but the Placer linemen were kind of mirroring him. They were right there with him. He wasn't getting out to with no defense. The linemen were moving out to the side and making it tough for him, and I think that's why he slipped, is because he was trying to find himself a hole he could cut back to. So give the Hillmen a lot of credit, and maybe they've taken him out of that field goal range that I think you correctly predicted they might go for if they didn't make it.
Well, they're letting the clock run all the way down to 2 seconds. So Roseville takes their third and final timeout. Remember, Coach Montoya still has all 3. He can play around with his timeouts if he wants to, if Roseville comes out with a set. You know, pretty big play here, fan. And we saw Isaiah Hanley for Placer have the interception. Placer turned that into points. In this situation, an outstanding interception, the ball first and goal at the 10 for Roseville. They look like they're going to go in and tie it, and they go backwards their first 2 plays.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but I think the ball's on the 14. That's a 31-yard field goal. We've watched this kicker, Bradley, right? I think he's got the leg for it. I don't know if they're going to go ahead and try that, but I think that's what I would do in this situation.
Well, you want to get points.
Yeah, especially when you thought you were getting none, and then you had got the turnover, so they're going to do that.
So it looks like a 31-yard field goal. It'll be Joel Bradley, and it looks like Coach Montoya will take his timeouts. As I said, he's got 3 to play with.
You predicted it, yeah.
It's always interesting on the other side now. Do they think about doing something differently? I don't. I think that the smart play in the long game is to get points. As we saw in last week's game, every point mattered, every drive mattered. And from a momentum standpoint, you want to get points off a turnover.
Yeah, and again, you weren't going to get the ball back in this half. You got it back. Sure, if you don't get 7, you can get 3. You got a tough league. We've mentioned it a couple of times. There are going to be games that go on, 1 or 2 or 1 possession, or maybe just 3 points. You know what I'm saying? And I think that maybe they go, well, if we can get a reliable guy that we can count on inside 35 yards in the high school game, that's pretty good. And we have a good chance right now. It's found money. We weren't going to get the ball back, and now we have a chance to try this. Although I'm sure the Hillman will send 2 guys back in case there's some sort of fake.
2 seconds on the clock showing. We're in the second quarter. Placer Hillman lead this one 21-14. And again, it looks like Joey Montoya takes his second timeout, so you can't take him with you, so he's going to burn him up.
Yeah.
And he calls them early enough where they don't get a practice kickoff either. That's the other strategy.
Yeah.
You don't want them to get the practice one.
I think he probably figures, look, these guys haven't done this that much. Okay, this is an extra point. It's a little bit further. I'm going to go ahead and make them think about it some more. Make the guy think about the snap. Make the holder think about the hold, and the kicker think about the kick.
This also allows Adam Reinking in his 3rd year. He led the team last year to a 7-5 record, lost to Oakdale in the playoffs, calls the plays. He's had 3 opportunities to think, hey, do I run a fake here? Does it work, or am I just going to kick the field goal?
No, if you're a poker player, I'm not letting the guy bluff me. I'm going ahead and playing my cards the way I want to play him. I'm not letting him talk me out of it. I have a chance to get 3 points here. I think it's a better chance than I have to get 7 from the 10-yard line.
All right, Phantom, let's see what they do here. The snap is down. The kick is up. Plenty of leg, and it is good. And that's how we will wrap up the first half. A pretty well-played half. Placer Hillman leading this one 21-17. So we'll go ahead and take the break for the half. Second game of the season, Placer leads at halftime. 21-17 over the visiting Roseville Tigers. This is Placer football at 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
Please welcome the Placer High Red Star Drumline. The Drumline captain is Casey Flint. The Drumline will perform Luna.
So Placer will get the ball first to start things off in the second half. One thing that looked like they've gotten away from a little bit was something that was very effective on their first drive, and that was their outstanding fullback, Jaden Suggs.
Yeah, Jaden Suggs, we've been talking about Baylor Kelly because obviously, as you said, the great game last week, and he is the guy that Roseville seems like they said, we're going to go ahead and stop that guy. Suggs ran really strong early, didn't get as many carries as we went through the end of the first half there. So let's see if Placer puts a premium on getting him the ball. And also Costa Alexic, who went for 94 yards, I believe, in the first half, and let's see if he gets back into it because he had one big run, but he also had a couple of good shorter runs.
Costa Alexic, Baylor Kelly, Jaden Suggs, all vaunted weapons on the ground, and something I think we'll see a heavy dose of from Placer. Last week after the game, I texted Coach Montoya, I said congrats, and his response was, we have some weapons, and he's absolutely right. So we're going to kick things off here in the second half. Scott Gordon, Mark Phantom Lowe. 21-17, Placer leads. They'll get the ball first. This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies. You can find Auburn Trophies at auburntrophies.com. And we are underway. That kick is fielded by Baylor Kelly, and he is running and stopped at about the 15. He fielded it at the far left side of the field, ran into the middle, and actually a great job of coverage that time by the Roseville kickoff coverage team.
And it looked like Kelly thought that was going to bounce out of bounds, and when it didn't, he had to go ahead and pick it up and try to get it back as much as possible. And you know, Scott, we talk about weapons. The guy I'm going to be looking for a little bit in this second half is Josh Maxwell. He had a big catch, and he was open on another throw, and if Joey Montoya wants to go to the air a little bit like it looked like he wanted to do, I think Maxwell might be his number one target.
He's got 3 catches on the year. He had 2 last week. They start off on the ground. They give it to Suggs up inside. He's met at the line of scrimmage, maybe a pickup of about 2, but you really get the sense as Roseville again. We talked to their head coach this week, Coach Reinking, and he was talking about we run a 4-3, we run a 4-4, and the way they're stacked right now, they have 8 players in the defensive box.
Yeah, and we talked to him also. You mentioned it earlier. They talk a lot about the first scrimmage they had against Granite Bay, and I think that was the confidence they take from that is what they bring out here today. They say, look, we've already been in against the big guys. We can do this.
Placer breaks the huddle. They turn. They give it to Suggs again. This time Suggs is met in the backfield I'm not sure if he got a yard, maybe a yard on the play. So they've come out 2 plays, Placer, trying to establish the run, and they've gotten 4 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6. The ball's at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, I think they came out and they said, let's see if we can send Jaden up the middle like we did to start the game. Maybe he can break one. And Roseville, again, we talk about the middle of their defensive line. They're sitting there waiting for somebody, and they're going to make it tough for the Hillman here on 3rd and 7.
Ball's in the middle of the field. This time they turn, play action. Craycraft throws it out to the side, goes out to Baylor Kelly, and Kelly catches it. Looks like he's got enough for the first down. A nice job of Baylor Kelly. The ball was slightly underthrown. He fell down and caught it enough, and that's a first down for the Placer Hillman. A big 3rd down conversion there on a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, you make a great point. That was a good throw, but it was a really fine catch by Kelly because he's not going to be able to go anywhere with it after he catches it. He's got to make the catch and bring in the first down.
3rd completion of the night for Craycraft. Now the ball's at the 27. They'll turn, they'll give it inside. This time to Costa Alexic on the reverse counter, and again, Roseville's defense is there to stop it. 10 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Placer leading 21-17. It'll be 2nd and 9. Ball spotted at the 28-yard line, right in the middle of the field.
And it doesn't escape notice that when Craycraft throws the ball the best, he throws it to his right side. Yeah, obviously a right-handed quarterback, but he throws the slant passes to the right side, either short like he did to Kelly or intermediate like he did to Maxwell earlier in the game.
Craycraft comes over to the sideline almost every play to get the play from Joey Montoya. They break the huddle. They're going left or right on your radio dial. This time they turn around and give it to Isaiah Kelly, but what a fantastic defensive play by the middle linebacker, number 26, Jaden Kersey, for Roseville. There's a loss of 4 on the play, so that'll bring up a 3rd and 12. Ball spotted all the way back at the 25-yard line of Placer.
Another case of penetration by the Roseville Tiger defense. Another case of maybe not having your big Pac-12 commit in there on the offensive line, and your replacement who's played really well, maybe getting a little bit fatigued as we go here into the 3rd quarter, and Roseville's got a kind of a second life out there, I think.
Placer had a 3rd and 7. They completed a pass to Baylor Kelly, picked up the first down, and this time their running back shifts a little bit early. Oh, actually, Coach Montoya calls the timeout. So saw something he didn't like, and I think he understands, like your point, Phantom, is yes, there's 9 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter, and yes, they lead 21-17, but Roseville's found something defensively. This is a critical 3rd down.
Yeah, I think it seems kind of silly to say in the second game, but I think Placer's kind of looking for something that will work, because they think that what they're trying to do, the Tigers pretty much have smelled that out, at least so far. Now, of course, it's still early, as you say, in the 3rd quarter, but I think Joey's trying to, call a timeout. Let's think this over. Let's talk this over, a little brainstorming out there and see what we think might hit.
Well, Joey Montoya in his 16th year is also the play caller, the offensive coordinator, and as we talked to Coach Chris Horner last week, he said he always knows what to dial up. He certainly did last week as his team came out and won 37-35, but 9 minutes and 4 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. Placer leading 21-17. Scott Gordon, Mark Phantom Lowe. The ball is at the 25-yard line. It is 3rd and 12 for Placer. They are going left to right on your radio dial. They just burned their first time out to try to get a play in. They go to the huddle. Coach Montoya walks to the sidelines, got the headsets on, looked at the play card. Got a receiver set to the right. Break the huddle quickly. Motion man goes. He's going to run a little keeper this time is the quarterback, Craycraft, on his first carry of the game. He's not going to get the first down, but they are going to throw a penalty flag, and it looks like they might have gotten a face mask here.
Yeah, it looked like Craycraft was going to go for a lot longer than that. He had a 2-on-1 situation out in the corner. He faked the pitch and kept the ball, and he was brought down after a pretty good gain, about 8 yards. Put a flag on the play, and we'll figure out what that's all about.
It was going to be 3rd and 12. It wasn't going to get the first down. He had a good pickup, but they are going to call personal foul face mask. So another critical penalty that time by the Roseville Tigers, and that will give Placer their 2nd first down here on this drive. And not only that, the field position now, Phantom, goes all the way out to the 47-yard line. So Placer will have 1st and 10 on the 47.
And if you're Coach Reinking, you're spending nights at home worrying, how do I take the aggressiveness my guys need and go ahead and dial it down so they don't make the critical mistakes?
give it to Baylor Kelly, and Kelly is tripped up after a pickup of about 3. They run the counter play into the short side of the field. He picks up 3 yards, 2nd and 7. Ball is spotted at the 49-yard line of Placer.
Yeah, we're talking about they know that Kelly's coming with the ball, but he's a big part of the Placer offense, and it's not something that Joey is going to abandon in the second game because they knocked him down a couple times. So he's going to keep coming with what he knows are his horses.
This time they move their tight end, Josh Maxwell, to the other side. I think they did it for a reason. Play action. They're looking for Maxwell. No, they go to Isaiah Hanley on the other side, and he can't come down with it. A heck of an effort, and he is down on the field and injured. So Craycraft, play action, throws it to Hanley. Hanley high points it, comes to the ground. He's not able to complete the catch, so the ball falls incomplete, and he landed awkwardly, and he's laying at the 20-yard line. Training staff and Coach Montoya are down there with him.
Let's hope he just knocked the wind out of him, because he went up really high, as you said, got the ball, came down, had it all the way down until he made contact with the ground and then lost it. So hopefully it's just a case that he had the wind knocked out of him. Pretty good pass, pretty good play by the Hillman on that one, but just couldn't come down with it.
As you said earlier, good pass would have been a great catch. And the good news is he is up and he's got his wind and he's walking off the field. Just took his helmet off. I think he's a little frustrated. He didn't come down with the catch, but heck of an effort on his part. Now we got 3rd and 8. Ball is at the 49-yard line for the Hillmen, and this is their third down of this drive. Is 8 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it, Scott. I think his one reaction is there. Why didn't I catch that ball? That's what he's thinking about. A good pass play by the Hillmen, and that is a good sign, but now they've got to come out with another one. And the thing that you wonder about is Roseville, they know you have to pass, or they think they have to pass. Are they going to send extra players after Josh Craycraft?
It's usually where Joey Montoya dials up some kind of unique running play and goes inside. Isaiah Hanley last week had 3 catches. Obviously in this game he's already had a huge impact. He had the interception return, which led to a touchdown for the Placer Hillmen. Officials are talking to Coach Ryan King on the other side of the field. Not sure what this conversation's about. Placer broke the huddle. Their whole momentum is break the huddle, run the play quick. Right. So when they get up on the ball, they don't want to show their hand.
Especially here with a 3rd and 8 on a play that almost worked, and now we think that Roseville's going to bring the house because they are sniffing out a Hillman pass attempt.
See what the refs tell us here. Nothing official.
No. They need to text us when there's stuff like this and let us know.
Maybe some kind of a flag symbol or something.
7-4, something like that, yeah.
3rd and 8. There comes Josh Craycraft. He turns, he gives it to Baylor Kelly. Baylor Kelly's going to try the end, and he is not going to get very far. Maybe a pickup of a few, but number 99, Xavier Garcia, the 6'1", 240 senior defensive end, is there. And now we've got a 4th and 5, 4th and 6 situation. The ball is spotted at the 48-yard line of Roseville, and Coach Joey Montoya is going for it with 7:40 to play here in the third quarter.
Remember last week we had a situation similar to this, and they went with the punt, and they ended up winning the battle of field position. But this time I think Joey Montoya thinks he has a play that he can call in the situation that'll get him 5 yards.
Or do you get him to jump, and all of a sudden you got a 4th and 1 that's makeable? Yep. Let's see. 7:26 to play, third quarter. Placer leading this one 21-17. Moving around their quick guard. Ball's on the right hash. Looks like they are trying to draw it. No, they'll turn and actually give it to Kelly, and he is the second back through, and it looks like he's going to come up just short. And, man, it's the Roseville sidelines fired up. And right now, Joey Montoya is on the field. He is asking for a measurement, and let's see what they come up with. Nope, they're going to throw the football back to Placer, and Roseville has actually stopped it. You know what's unique about this? This game started, Roseville had the ball, drove it all the way down, and they had a critical 4th down stop where they couldn't convert. Similar here, Placer gets the ball deep in their own territory, drives the ball, cannot convert on a 4th down.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the play. You got your 5 yards, but you just needed maybe 5.5 yards, and now the Tigers take over.
Tigers take over. Ball is given to the motion man. That's Caden Belton around the corner, and he has a long pickup of about 15 yards. Graydon hands it off to Belton. Ball's already in Hillman territory. The ball's all the way down to the 41-yard line. Roseville's driving right to left.
Yeah, one thing we have to work on now is that you're the Hillman. It's not about X's and O's right now. It's about momentum. and it's all on Roseville's side, coming in with the 3 points at the end of the half and then getting that big stop against the Hillman here in the third quarter.
This time, Graydon will operate under center. They'll send Belton in motion again. They'll give it to the fullback up inside, and a good little push. And now you're seeing the Roseville front really assert themselves there. They pick up 6 yards, 7 yards on that play. That'll bring up a 2nd and 3. Ball is all the way down to the 33-yard line of the Hillman. Hillman still lead this one 21-17.
Yeah, new ball carrier Logan Fox on that one. They went ahead and attacked the middle of the defensive line. I think they've got the Hillman thinking about enough different things now that they can kind of pick and choose.
Back into the shotgun. They give it to Belton in motion. He comes around on the sweep. He picks up another first down all the way down to the 25-yard line. So they've got a little bit of a rhythm going here. Brandon Graydon, the quarterback, giving it to Belton, who the motion man, and they've got the ball 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
I think you mentioned it earlier, Scott. I think the Hillman defense now is afraid to overcommit. They don't want to overly try to penetrate because they're afraid somebody will throw the ball over their heads, and they can't get up too fast because they can't go back too far because they got to protect against the run. So they're in a tough situation right there as far as in no man's land when there's a play like that with Belton.
3 plays all on the ground. This time Graydon underneath the center. He turns around, gives it to Belton again, and Belton's around the corner. He's inside the 20-yard line, down about the 18, 19-yard line. So 2 plays out of the gun, 2 plays under the center. All 3 runs that Caden Belton has are sweeps around the edge, and they have all been effective. That time picking up 6 yards.
Yeah, we had a situation kind of like this before, and we were surprised that they actually went to the pass a couple of times. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they've found something that really is working for them, and they feel like they have the advantage right now on the line of scrimmage.
Quarterback underneath the center. They give it up inside. The power run, the fullback. This time it's Riley Skillman. Skillman picks up, it looks like, 2 yards. He'll be short of the first down. It'll actually bring up a 3rd and 1.
Real good tackle by the Hillman there on the second level, knocking the ball carrier down after just a short gain. And, yeah, as you mentioned, a 3rd and 1 here, and last time it was the quarterback sneak.
Correction, that was number 23, Logan Fox, as Roseville's got their black helmets visiting white road jerseys and white pants. 4:30 to play here in the third quarter. Placer Hillman leading this one 21-17, but Roseville on the move. Ball is spotted at the 16-yard line in Hillman territory. 3rd and 1. Big play here in the third quarter. Graydon that time fakes to the fullback, pulls it out himself, runs around the outside. They had that same formation they tried on the 4th and 1. He actually rides the fullback, pulls it around the outside, runs it all the way around the end. It picks up the first down. So Brandon Graydon, and the drive continues. They've now got the ball 1st and goal at the 6-yard line of the Hillman.
Actually, a good play by the Placer defensive end. He had the play snuffed out. He just couldn't close down the angle on the outside, and Graydon, as we say, converted fullback, outran him and got the first down.
Graydon comes up underneath center, a motion man. They turn, they give it to Fox, the fullback. Fullback is met. A great defensive stop that time by the Placer front. And nice job of sniffing that out. This entire drive so far by Roseville, what started in their territory, has been all runs. And now they've got the ball 2nd and goal on the 8-yard line. 3:30 to go, third quarter. Placer leading at 21-17.
Yeah, so if you're Placer, do you go ahead and sell out? Do you go ahead and say, well, I think they're going to keep running and try to get 8 or 9 guys in the box and see what you can do there? Or are you afraid that Graydon's going to put it in the guy fullback stomach, pull it back out, and try to get outside himself?
There they come up. Graydon's back in the shotgun. He's going to run that quarterback sweep, and that is definitely going to be sniffed out. But he breaks a couple of tackles and goes in for the touchdown. That time, Placer's defense had the quarterback sweep sniffed out perfectly, and Graydon breaks some tackles. We want to see if there's a flag down on the play. It looks like the refs are talking.
There is a flag at the 3-yard line.
There is a penalty flag on the play. Let's see what this is.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, Scott, the critical part occurred about at the 10-yard line when it seemed like about 4 or 5 Hillmen were right there, and they couldn't bring the quarterback down.
Roseville has had 2 touchdowns taken off the board because of penalties in this game. So we'll see what the call is. So here we
I don't know
go.
why you have to talk to the opposing coach. I mean, if it's a penalty, just call the penalty. Unless it's something like we saw last week where there's, an ejection or something unsportsmanlike. Oh, that's what, okay.
Oh, man, it's personal foul targeting is actually the call against Roseville. So the ball is going to go, and to say Coach Ryan King is upset is an understatement, as I believe they're calling targeting. That's
mystifying.
On the offense.
Yes, that's why it's mystifying, and that's why maybe they felt like they had to go explain it to him. And again, we didn't see it. We don't know exactly what it is. The same way last week we didn't see what happened that resulted in the ejection. But, you have to go by what the guys on the field are saying.
So now they have it. That is the third touchdown of the game that's been pulled off the board for Roseville. So let's set the stage. It's 3 minutes and 4 seconds to play in the third quarter. Roseville has the ball, 2nd and goal at the 17-yard line. The score's 21-17. Placer leads. Ball spotted on the right hash. Working out of the shotgun. This time he's going to go back to pass. Throws it behind his intended receiver over the middle. No penalty flag on the play, and they'll bring up a third down. 2:59 to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, it seems almost too easy to say. I mean, we've said it all along that Roseville has a chip on their shoulder. They're coming out with an attitude. But that's, 3 touchdowns now? We've seen 5 touchdowns called back in 7 quarters of football so far this year. Obviously, you got to clean that up, and the coach has to like the aggressiveness, but you can't cost your team, 21 points possibly they've cost themselves, plus a couple other key penalties that aided in Placer's drives.
Roseville breaks the huddle. They got 3 receivers set left. Liam Crow's the wide receiver. They're going to roll left. They've got that quarterback sweep. They throw it and just kind of short arms at that time. It looked like he was throwing to number 8. Number 8 is Ethan Oakleberry. He was running an out route, and then Brandon Graydon's going to want that one back because that would have been a pickup of about 10 yards and made this a much more makeable field goal.
Yeah, I know I kind of make too much of this, but I don't understand when right-handed quarterbacks roll out to their left and they try to throw like a pinpoint pass like that. That's a really difficult pass to throw, running to your left as a right-handed quarterback, and it wasn't anywhere near where it was supposed to be.
One of the big coaching points there is you want to run, so if you end up going that direction, he was running sideways. Here's the field goal attempt. The ball is down, the kick is up, and it is good. So there we go. It's 21-20 as Roseville has inched closer with 2:50 to play here in the third quarter. Points come off the board for the touchdown, but they get the field goal. That's now 2 drives in a row. They've had touchdowns taken off the board. Yep. Got field goals. So right now, 2:50 to play here in the third quarter. Placer 21, Roseville 20.
It's almost a situation where both teams, there's a field goal and both teams are happy. And both teams are unhappy, but I mean, Roseville gets points on the board, but Placer dodges a bullet here on a targeting call on the offense on a touchdown run. You don't see that every day. But the bottom line is they still have a 1-point lead, but they've got to do something on this side of the ball if they're going to go ahead and hold off Roseville, because the Tigers, let's face it, have found a formula for their offense. They run the ball. They get in trouble, obviously, with the penalty. They had to throw, and they couldn't do it.
Phantom, and you mentioned it. Last week we saw only 1 missed extra point and a field goal, and tonight we've seen 5 converted extra points and 2 field goals. It's 21-20. So this kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies. Auburn Trophies located at 1221 Grass Valley Highway in the Fiddler Green Plaza. This kick is back, fielded by Baylor Kelly at about the 10. He runs it up about the 20, and he hits a wall of Roseville defenders. So that's where Placer will take over. 2:43 to play here in the third quarter. Placer leading 21-20, and we say this a lot in our first 2 weeks, but this is a very important drive for Placer.
Very important drive for Placer. They've dodged a couple of bullets now, and by rights they probably shouldn't be ahead, but they still are, and now they've got to figure out a way to get back to what they were doing in the first quarter.
This is their second drive of the second half. Their first one ended over on a turnover on downs. Craycraft, the quarterback, turns, gives it to Suggs, the big fullback. He loses the football. It's on the ground, and it's recovered by Placer, and they're going to get a first down. And there, Roseville had an opportunity on 2 different occasions to fall on the ball. Suggs carried it for about 7, got it punched loose. Roseville had 2 chances to fall on it, missed it. and it looked like Placer recovered it. They get a first down. It's at the 32.
Yeah, give credit to the first Placer guy that tried to recover it after Suggs fumbled it, because he kept it alive for the next Placer guy to jump in there and get it. So good job.
Crisis averted for Placer that time. This time they give it to Baylor Kelly around the outside. Flags are down on the play. So is the running back at the same set. It looks like this is where they're going to have a hold or a block in the back. We'll see what they actually call, though.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get behind the chains again. So the Hillmen are going to have first. We'll assume it's going to be about 20 here. So they're going to have to go ahead and maybe go to the air again.
It is a spot penalty. They do call a block in the back, so they will replay first down. We'll go all the way down to their own 21-yard line. So Placer will have the ball at their 21-yard line. It will be first and a 9-iron, it looks like. I mean, they got a long way to go. 2:16 to play here in the third quarter. This time Craycraft goes back to pass, fires it upfield. He hits Maxwell, the tight end, on a crossing route. Maxwell taking people down with them, and first down as Maxwell has been targeted 3 times. That's his second catch, and he's got the fans fired up. First down, Placer, a good throw and catch that time.
Yeah, we talked about Maxwell before the second half started, and he has been getting open on that same route. Now, Roseville has adjusted so well to what Placer has been doing. I'm surprised they haven't figured out what to do when they send Maxwell on a slant to the sideline for about 14 yards, because they've done it 4 times now.
4th catch of the season. This time nobody in the backfield. They go with Baylor Kelly on the motion play, and they've got a flag down. False start is the call against the Placer Hillmen.
So a good play followed by a penalty. A good play followed by a penalty. I get the right side is they're getting the good play, but then they've got to work on the penalty.
Is this going to be all year? Third quarter is going to be penalty island.
Penalty island, yeah.
We do not need that.
And we've seen some odd ones. That's the thing we've seen this year. We've seen roughing the passer on a pick 6. We've seen now a targeting on the offense. So we've seen a lot of stuff already.
1:42 to play. This time they give it to Suggs. He's the first back through. He's met at the line of scrimmage. No pickup. 1st and 15. He really didn't get anything. It'll be 2nd and 15 for the Hillmen. Ball spotted at the 43.
Well, there hasn't really been a lot of room to run up the middle for the Placer running backs. As we talked about, Xander Esty not in the game tonight, the Pac-12 commit to Oregon State. So his replacement comes in there and played well early on, but as the game has worn on, Roseville has really seemed to find the answer to plug in the holes in the interior.
Well, the right tackle tonight is Nico Borden, and he's going head-to-head against number 99, Xavier Garcia, the 6'1", 240 senior. And 2nd and 15, balls at the 43. They fake it to Suggs. Craycraft's going to keep it on an option take, and he's got a nice little bit of running room and an athletic run by the junior quarterback. His best run of the season so far as he weaves his way all the way down to the 35-yard line. First down, Placer.
Huge play, and I'm sitting here saying, pitch it, pitch it, pitch it. He's holding on to it. Remember, he did that earlier in the game, had a pretty good run, and there was a penalty, and the Hillmen converted, but that time it was all Craycraft. He showed a little bit of shiftiness there as he got into the backfield and picked up the first down.
Craycraft did not have an option running play last week, and that was a good pickup there. This time they go counter to Baylor Kelly. He breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage and takes it down to the 28-yard line. So starting to get a good lean on that Roseville front. They've got the ball now 2nd and 4. Ball is inside the 30-yard line of the Roseville Tigers.
And got Kelly a little bit to the outside, and he broke a tackle. I'd be surprised if the Hillmen run another play.
And that should be a wrap in the third quarter. At the half, it was 21-17. At the end of 3, it's 21-20. We're going to go ahead and take the break with them, get ready for our 4th quarter of what looks to be another exciting high school finish. You're listening to Placer Football at 104.5 FM, AM 950, the voice of the Foothills.
You're listening to Friday Night Football in the Foothills on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI.
2nd and 4. Craycraft turns, gives it to Costa Alexic. Alexic takes it all the way down to the 20-yard line, and Placer now is moving the ball. Ball's on the left hash, 20-yard line there in Roseville territory. Craycraft breaks the huddle, turns around, gives it to Jaden Suggs. Suggs picks his way through, breaks a couple of tackles, pushes the pile up close to the 16-yard line. A good first down pickup of about 4 yards.
So Placer trying to get back to what they did in the first quarter. They had the great run by Craycraft to end the third quarter, and they go ahead and have Alexic, who we haven't heard that much from in this third quarter or now in the fourth quarter, and then Jaden Suggs to put themselves in looks like a 2nd and 6 situation.
At 2 different points during this game, Placer has led by 14. 14-0 and then 21-7. There's 11 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, and the score's 21-20. A big drive right now for Placer. 2nd and 6, ball's at the 16-yard line. Placer's now going right to left on your radio dial. Craycraft turns this time. He pulls it out of Suggs. Flag flies. Craycraft keeps it. He's got it down to about the 11, but we look like this one might be coming back like a hold, or a chop block is actually the call. So that chop block is a 15-yard spot penalty. They're calling that more and more to preserve the knees.
Yeah, you got to do that. And you talk about having a 14-point lead. That was a situation last week, too, against Casa, and I think that's a deal where you're playing good teams. Yeah, you get up on them, and more power to you, but you're playing good teams, and the one thing about good teams is they don't quit. They're going to come back at you. They're going to keep coming back at you, and that's the thing you got to learn.
So that 15-yarder negates what would have been a 4-yard run by the quarterback, Josh Craycraft, and would have set him up at 3rd and short. Instead, it's 2nd down and over 20. Ball is spotted at the 31-yard line. So 2nd down and 20. Placer has the ball, leading 21-20. 10:35 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think this might be a 4-down territory thing. Let's see if he wants to put the ball in the air, if they keep the ball on the ground here.
Break the huddle quickly. This time Craycraft turns, gives it to Baylor Kelly, who's caught and tackled in the backfield. He's going to lose 4 yards. On the stop is the middle linebacker, number 26, Jaden Kersey. He's done that twice tonight for Roseville. He sniffed out that sweep.
That's the penetration. I think the Hillman offensive line are going to be talking about that next week when they prepare for the next game, because there's been too many occasions where the Tigers defenders just slipped into the backfield.
3rd and 26. Ball's at the 36-yard line. So Placer has the ball at the Roseville 36-yard line. Ball spotted in the middle of the field. 3rd and 26. Not a lot of calls on the sheet there with that. This time Craycraft goes play action. Steps up. He's going to get sacked. And that sack came around what would have been the right tackle. And guess who was in on it again? Is number 26, Jaden Kersey, coming in off the blitz. And that'll set up a 4th down and an obvious punting situation now for the Hillman.
Yeah, that's the problem when you have 3rd and 26 instead of 3rd and 12. Your patterns are going to take that much longer to develop, and Craycraft was trying to wait for something to open up and just waited too long as that penetration showed up again for the Tigers.
So it was once a promising drive inside the 20-yard line of Roseville. Now is a 4th and 28 from the 44, and we'll see the big left-footed kicker. Does look like Roseville's going to call a timeout on the field to bring their special teams unit on. I don't think they had everybody they needed on the field. And Coach Ryan King, obviously this is a huge play for them. So we got 9:03 to play here, Phantom, in a 21-20 ball game.
Yeah, I think he didn't want he wouldn't want Joey taking all that time off the clock, getting ready to punt. He just wanted to put that time back on the clock. But yeah, I think he's in a situation where his offense is pretty much working, his defense is pretty much working, but he's still behind in the game. And part of that is because his team has done that to itself, and Placer's come up with a key play when they needed to, and they're going to probably need to again. And the first one's going to be this special teams play. A punt that'll pin him inside the 20 would be huge right here.
Roseville has scored 13 unanswered points. 1 point in this game, Placer led 14-0, then they led 21-7. Roseville's defensive front has really exerted itself. So 9:03 to play here. Scott Gordon, Mark Phantom Lowe, and Jackson Ramirez is the punter for Placer. He's standing about the 42-yard line. He'll take the snap. And it looks like there is some movement up front on Placer, and they might be moving back another 5 yards. So another penalty here. We'll see what the call is.
So that 20-yard line looking a little more remote right now if they push him back 5 more yards.
Remember last week when he was kicking to Cole Owens, there was a lot of directional kicking. He actually did a really good job on those rugby-style kicks. They were line drives. They were very effective at negating a very good athlete, Cole Owens, for Casa.
Yeah, gets the ball on the ground quicker and gets that forward roll. And, yeah, it's a great point. I think if he gets a chance, he'll do that again as the lone return back is pretty much in the middle of the field.
Ball spotted at the 49, right in the center of the P, standing for Placer High School. Lefebvre Field is where we are on the campus of Placer High School. They lead at 21-20, 9:03 to play here in the fourth quarter. Jackson Ramirez, the punter, the left footer, is standing at his 37. He takes the snap. Kick is off. It's a pretty good one, end over end. Receiver's going to let it go, and this ball is going to roll out of bounds at the 4-yard line. What a great kick that time, and back deep to return that was Brady Rinaldo, and Rinaldo let it go, and the ball went out of bounds at the 2. That's a great kick.
Yeah, Rinaldo has had a couple of really good returns on kickoffs today. You called the directional kick, and I think that worked out even better than Placer had a hope for because there was no way the return back could try to catch it. It was too low to the ground. He couldn't take a chance of making a mistake, and it rolled just like Placer wanted down to the 2.
8:54 to play. Placer 21, Roseville 20. 1st and 10, ball spotted at their own 2-yard line for the Roseville Tigers. And head coach Adam Reinking trying to build something here. Brought in his team 1-0. They beat Oakmont last week 49-0. He's in his 3rd season. Sends in his receiver, Liam Crow. Ball set on the left half. Runs a quarterback sneak this time underneath center with their quarterback, Brandon Graydon. They're just trying to get a little bit more room to work with, and it was a good first down call as they pick up about 6 yards.
Yeah, I would say that pinning them down like this means it's probably time for one of Placer's big names, a Colin Bray or a Maxwell Joyner, one of the big-time guys to come up and make a big-time play because I have a feeling that if Roseville can exert this kind of control, they can march this ball right down the field. That's what they've been doing so far.
Second half has largely been runs, and they've been pretty effective with that. When they did go to the air earlier, Isaiah Hanley had an outstanding interception. Here we go, 2nd and 4. They turn, they give it to the fullback inside, and it's number 23, Logan Fox. Fox looks like he's going to be just short. No, they're going to wave him and say he's good with the first down. So, and actually a huge first down to pick up when you had him pinned down to the 2-yard line. Now the ball's out to about the 12.
Yeah, I thought that might have knocked him down a little bit short here, but he gets the call, and they're doing what we thought they were going to do, and that means that if they do go back to pass, it'll be a big surprise now, and they should have enough time to complete it because the Hillman line has not had the penetration that Roseville has.
You know, with all the high schools that you see that send in plays from the sidelines with signals and everything, it's unique tonight to have 2 teams that have their quarterback run to the sidelines to get the play from their head coach.
Tell me what you want me to do, Coach.
Brandon Graydon takes the snap. Ball's down. It's on there. A fumble, and Placer has got it. A little bit of confusion in the backfield. The ball hit the motion man as he was coming across the snap, and a huge turnover for Placer, and they are excited. They jumped on the fumble where earlier in the game Roseville didn't take advantage of it, and now Placer has an opportunity to really put their foot down on Roseville.
Yeah, and that's got to be, Coach Reinking is mad about the penalties and everything, but that was an execution mistake, and I know he's going to be probably even angrier about that because his team made a mistake in execution, which they had been working on and hadn't done all night.
1st and goal at the 9-yard line. They turn, they give it to Jaden Suggs, and Suggs stood up at the line of scrimmage at the 10. So really nothing doing there, but if you are Roseville, Placer right now is trying to burn some clock. 7:20 to play, 4th quarter. Placer leading this one 21-20. By the time the next snap comes off, there'll be less than 7 minutes to play in this game.
Yeah, and then usually you'd say burn some clock, and if you put 3 up, that's okay. I don't think that's the situation. They gave you a gift inside the 10-yard line, and you've got to go ahead and punch it in.
You almost think it's 4-down territory to make them pin them deep down there if you don't get it. They turn, they give it to Baylor Kelly. No, that's Isaiah Hanley who takes the handoff, and he's stopped at about the 9-yard line, so might have gotten a yard. That'll bring up a 3rd down, 6:47 to play. Placer up 21-20, trying to get a touchdown to go up by 8.
Yeah, and they've got the ball now. They got a gift and 2 plays that netted them 2 yards. So they go ahead and run the same kind of play in the middle of the defense and see, as you said, is it a 4-down territory, or are we going to go ahead and play for the 3?
Josh Craycraft jogging out. Ball is spotted at the left hash. It is 3rd and goal on the 8-yard line. The motion man, they fake to him. Craycraft's going to give it to the inside back. That time he's tackled at the 5. That was Baylor Kelly. All the flow went to the left. They tried to catch him off guard with an inside trap with Baylor Kelly, and it's brought down at the 6-yard line. It does look like the coaches have made a decision, and that's to try to get themselves 3 points and extend the lead.
Yeah, they're going to go with Jackson Ramirez, and as a left-footed kicker, he's on the left hash mark, so he's got a nice little angle in there trying to put the team up by 4 points. It would be 24-20, and they're going to take as much time before they snap it as they can, I would believe.
5:40 to play here in the 4th quarter. Placer leading 21-20. Jackson Ramirez has a 24-yard field goal to see if he can extend the lead to 4. Snap is down. Good hold. Kick is up, and it is good. So Roseville had run off 13 unanswered to cut the lead to 21-20. But here we go again, Phantom. Every time Placer gets a turnover, they turn it into points, and they wanted a touchdown there, but they got a field goal.
Yeah, it's not the points they wanted, but give all the credit to the holder, and we've got to go ahead and find out his name because that ball was not snapped well. It basically rolled back to the holder. He put it down and got it down for Ramirez. That's Max Joyner back there. He does a little bit of everything everywhere, but give him a point and a half of those 3 points because if it wasn't for him, Ramirez wouldn't have had a chance of putting that one through.
Hey, Max Joyner started the game tonight at quarterback and drove the Hillman down for a touchdown. He's played on both sides of the ball, and right there a big special teams play. So
absolutely.
That's an unheralded spot, the holder, but that was an excellent hold. So 5:21 to play here in the 4th quarter. Placer now leads 24-20. Kickoff will come. As you know, all kickoffs are sponsored by Auburn Trophies. This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies at 1221 Grass Valley Highway in the Fiddler Green Plaza. Ramirez, who has hit a field goal and 3 extra points tonight, gets his leg behind this one. It's a directional kick. It'll be picked up by number 10. And a good return out to the 30 is, again, that's Brady Rinaldo. He's their big return man, and he takes it out to about the 30.
Yeah, he's real good on those. He comes up, catches the ball. Kind of dangerous, actually, catches the ball on the run forward and then picks this hole. He likes to go down that right sideline and got it outside the 30-yard line, which is big for Roseville.
5:16 to play. Placer 24, Roseville 20. Scott Gordon, Mark Phantom Lowe. 2 teams that are 1-0 coming into this game. Ball is spotted at the right hash, 31-yard line for Roseville. They sent a player in motion. This time they're going to throw a little quick screen out to the left side. Tackle is broken. Looked like they had that play snuffed out in the backfield, but a good run down the field by Chris O'Neill, number 6. He made something out of nothing on that play.
Yeah,
Phantom.
We've seen it a couple of times, Scott. We've seen Placer make a great read, have players around the ball, and not be able to bring the ball carrier down.
Has to be frustrating for defensive coordinator Eric Ridardi when you call the right defense, you get your personnel in the right spot, and you don't make the play.
Yeah, just a 3-yard gain. Not a huge gain, but probably should have been for nothing.
2nd and 7 for Roseville. Ball spotted at the 34-yard line. 4 minutes and 38 seconds to play. They break the huddle. Their quarterback, number 5, Brandon Graydon, stands in the backfield. He's got his running backs to the right, and Roseville's going to take a timeout. There's a lot of confusion that time on the formation. So Ryan King, third-year head coach, takes a timeout. So we'll talk a little strategy here as we look at the big board now, Phantom. Burning that timeout was big. That leaves Roseville with just 1 timeout with 4:25 to play.
It really does, but as you were trying to describe it, he's had one back with him. I know, there's another one coming too. So that's not a good sign if you're the coach looking for the sidelines and you have too many backs in the backfield. So you've got to go ahead and take that because you don't want to go out try to get a play out of chaos. But with just 4:25 to go, again, Roseville throwing the ball maybe a little bit more than I thought they would, but to go ahead and put the ball up in the air. Placer sniffed the first one out, made a good play, and now they've got 2nd down and 7.
That first down play is even an extended handoff. I mean, they throw it behind the line of scrimmage. Those are the high percentage plays. But here's where we stand. Placer 24, Roseville 24, 25 to play. 2nd and 7. Ball is spotted on the left hash of the 34-yard line. Roseville breaks the huddle. They're moving left to right on your radio dial, heading into there. They've got bunch receiver set to the right. This time they roll out Brandon Graydon. He's got a receiver. It's O'Neal, and he hits him. And O'Neal's got a big pickup all the way down to the 25-yard line. And give credit to Max Joyner, the holder, who just made an outstanding play on special teams. That was a touchdown-saving tackle that he just made.
Yeah, it was, but give credit to Roseville also for the play design. They rolled out the quarterback to the right. We've talked about it all day. They have the pass option on that play. They slipped O'Neal behind the defensive back and just lofted a pass right to him, and now they are in business at the 26-yard line.
Probably Brandon Graydon's best throw of the night at a time where they absolutely needed it to happen. So 4 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. And Roseville's got the ball 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Ball's at the right hash. 3:53 to play. They have 2 receivers set left, 1 in the slot. Running back stands to the left of the quarterback, Brandon. He throws a little wide receiver screen to O'Neal, who breaks a couple of tackles. He ducks in underneath. The ball goes down to about the 18-yard line, and you get the sense that Adam Reinking, as a play caller, has found a little bit of a rhythm here.
Yeah, and the gesticulations from the Placer sideline, where I was watching that sideline, they were jumping up and down trying to get their defense into the position they wanted. And with 3:23 to go, now Roseville's in a position where obviously they have to score a touchdown, but they can go ahead and take a little time and bring their running game back into this game.
2nd and 2. The ball is spotted at the 18-yard line. Placer leads this one 24-20, but Roseville is driving. Brandon Graydon operates from the shotgun. He's got receivers on either side. Throws the quick hitter this time. The catch is made, and it looks like he's going to have enough for the first down, and that's Chris O'Neal again. They featured him a lot in this drive. Ball will be spotted at the 11-yard line, so 1st and 10 actually at the 12 with 2:56 to play here in the fourth quarter, Phantom.
Yeah, O'Neal, a couple of touchdowns last week against Oakmont on, I believe, 4 catches. Hadn't really been featured too much so far, but he is now part of the passing game, and he's been very effective.
Injured player coming over to the sidelines for the Hillman. That's number 50, Mason Yoakum. Allows Placer to slow the momentum a little bit here. 2:56 to play. Placer has 2 timeouts. Roseville just has the 1. 2:56 to play. 24-20, Placer leads. Brandon Graydon ran over to the coach. He's got the play. Receiver set left. That's Liam Crow set out at the 10-yard line. He's matched up one-on-one with Isaiah Hanley. Graydon will go underneath the center. He'll send in motion. They've got a true option play here. The quarterback's going to keep it. Breaks a couple of tackles. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. That was a triple option look, and Brandon Graydon had 2 tackles that he made. I do not see a penalty flag on the play, and it looks like for the first time tonight, Roseville has pulled ahead pending the extra point. It looks like they are up right now 26-24.
Yeah, another situation, Scott, where Placer had players in position to make tackles, but give Graydon give him all the credit. He was elusive enough and shifty enough, the fullback turned quarterback, and that's been the most effective play that Roseville has done tonight, and he was able to get into the end zone.
2:32 to play, and Roseville has pulled ahead for the first time tonight, 26-24. Kelly on to add the extra point. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. So Phantom with 2:32 to go. Very similar to last week with Casa Roble when they went ahead for the first time in the night. Placer needed to answer. They drove the ball the length of the field, kicked the field goal for the win. In this case, it's 27-24 in favor of Roseville. 2:32 to go. In an absolutely huge situation for some of these young skill position players for Placer.
The difference there, I think, Scott, is that last week we felt like even with Esty out of the game on that last drive, Placer's skilled players, they were opening holes, they were making plays. I think that the thought is after the first quarter, certainly in this game, definitely in the second half, that Roseville has an answer for what Placer's trying to do offensively. A couple of good pass plays, but other than that, and maybe 1 or 2 longer runs, but other than that, from play to play, it's been a Roseville.
This is a game Placer led 14-0 in a game they led 21-7. Right now they trail 27-24 as Roseville goes to kick. Baylor Kelly is back deep to return. This kickoff is brought to you by Auburn Trophies. You can find Auburn Trophies online at auburntrophies.com. 2:32 to go. Kelly set to kick. Gets his leg into it pretty good. Kelly's going to catch it in the end zone, and he cannot bring it out in high school, so that means it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Placer needs to go at least 80 yards to get in the end zone. They got to get it close to get a field goal. 2:32 to play.
Yeah, give Graydon a lot of credit on the Roseville side, but their kicker, maybe their most valuable player, he scored 9 points of his own today with 3 extra points and 2 field goals. So the kicking game has been huge, and that's not usually the case. Usually in a high school game, the kicking game is huge when they miss one. In this game, everybody's making everything.
How big is the decision at the end of the first half to just play for the field goal?
Yep.
It was 21-14. They picked the field goal, and now they're up. Craycraft takes this pass, back to pass. He hits Maxwell, the big tight end, caught at the middle of the field about the 40-yard line. He's still breaking tackles. He goes all the way down to the 46-yard line, so Maxwell's been the target. That's his 3rd catch of the night. It does not go down at the first sign of contact or the second sign of contact. The ball very quickly, they're going to spot this right at the midfield mark. Huge pickup, 30 yards on first down.
Yeah, we talked about Maxwell being the guy in the passing game. Obviously, Hanley also would be available if you can get them to concentrate on Maxwell and get time. Maybe Hanley is open as well.
Quick pass again, this time outside. A pass and a catch. It is complete. And they're going to, that looks like Dash Tebs. No, correction. The catch is made on the play by number 13. That's Arthur Kernax.
Excellent catch out there. Got 5 yards for the Hillman, but a lot of time off the clock, about 30 seconds, 40 seconds.
1:45 to play. Play action pass again. This time they're looking for Maxwell again, and they're going to throw a flag for pass interference, as Maxwell, they're going to say, is interfered with by number 17, Kevin Garcia. Play action, and sure enough, pass interference. 1:38 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it looked like it was pass interference, and I think if you're at Roseville in that situation, you're like, well, okay, just let him. It's going to be a short gain. He's going to be in bounds. Go ahead and let him catch it and try to bring him down, but he was making the aggressive play and kind of went through the receiver.
And the hard thing in high school is it's 15 yards,
yeah,
not like the
is,
NFL
yeah.
where it's a spot penalty.
Exactly.
So this is really going to hurt him from a yardage perspective. So ball is spotted now at the 30-yard line. 1:38 to play. We're in the 4th quarter here at Placer High School. Placer trailing Roseville 27-24. Stoppage of play is to set the chains.
Yeah, Hillman are getting the chances, Scott. They got the big fumble down there inside the 10-yard line and couldn't come up with a touchdown, got 3, and now a big penalty right here. As they are showing, the Hillman are showing a chance. They're moving the ball down the field.
They turn and they give it to, there's number 6, Kosta Alexic, who had a big touchdown run earlier in the game, kind of run that into the boundary, and he picks up 6 yards, so that's going to bring up a 2nd and 4. 1:25 to go. Placer does have the 2 timeouts. Ball spotted at the 23.
Yeah, you don't want to go too fast that you get a penalty here, but you've got to go ahead and you've got to be workmanlike and get the plays off, and now we're going to pass.
1:15. Play action pass. He's going to throw. He's got Hanley in the corner, and that's going to fall incomplete. Hanley looking for a penalty flag. He doesn't get it. Hanley was running that corner route. Doesn't like the fact that a penalty wasn't called, but it's 3rd and 3. 1 minute and 7 seconds to play here in the 4th quarter. Placer trails by 3. Ball is sitting on the left hash.
Yeah, cynical observer is going to say they're not going to call 2 pass interference penalties in 3 plays, and Hanley definitely thought he was interfered with.
This time they give it to Bailey. Baylor Kelly does not get the first down. It looks like, are they going to burn one of their timeouts? They absolutely have to with 56 seconds to go. No, they're going to put some time back on the clock, I would think.
Yeah, you had to burn the timeout because this is 4th down. I mean, maybe if it's 3rd down, you try to do something. It's 4th down. This is the play you got to make, or this thing's over. Unless you're going to try to kick it from here, and I think this is too far for even Jackson Ramirez. So you want to pick up that at 1st down, you've got to go ahead and talk this over. And as you mentioned, you have the 2 timeouts. You got to use one right here.
So 55 seconds left to play. Roseville 27, Placer 24. It is 4th and 2 at the Roseville 22. The ball's right in the middle of the field. Head coach Joey Montoya in his 16th year calling plays, none bigger than the play call he's coming up with right now.
Remember earlier we had a 4th and 5 in this game, and they came up just 1 yard short, and that was a key. It wasn't a turnover, but it works as a turnover. And this one, obviously, even more important than that. But Roseville has some success at stopping them on 4th down.
Roseville does have a timeout. Maybe they see what Placer comes up with, and they burn their timeout to get their defense set. We will see. Both sides of the field are standing up. Absolutely huge play. 4th and 2, 55 seconds to go. Ball is at the 22. You got to think this is Jaden Suggs' time. The big back. We will see. They said to motion man. They do give it to Suggs. Suggs powers his way. He gets the first down. Huge first down. Clock will stop as they reset the chains. 50 seconds to go. Quick play coming back in. You don't think they have time to huddle. They are now, ball is spotted at the 16-yard line. It's 1st and 10, ball at the 16. Placer breaks the huddle. And we've got a stoppage of play.
We've got an injured player on the Roseville side.
Officials timeout. Roseville player is injured. One of their defensive linemen is down.
So now if you're Placer, you've got that one timeout. Do you hold on to it in case you want to go ahead and try for a tying field goal later on, or do you not want to let too much time? If you run the ball, then you might have to just call it again, or you don't get any more plays off.
That's big number 76, Ramon Mendoza, who's been effective, 6'2", 240. Let's see who they put in his spot. Do they go right after to attack that area?
Let's see.
1st and 10, ball's at the 16. Ball spotted at the left hash of Placer. Jaden Suggs standing behind his quarterback, Josh Craycraft. Motion man is Alex Alexic. Play action. They look to throw, and they're going to get a roughing the passer as they went after. They hit him as he was throwing, but they hit him high. I think this is going to be, let's see what the call is, but I'm fairly certain you're going to get a roughing the passer here.
Yeah, they were all in on him, and they got hit him right away. And as you say, that has to be it. Hit him too high.
Not something they really even needed to do.
And another situation, excuse me, Scott, but another situation where a team, like we talked about, Casa last week had penalties that really hurt them. And Roseville, I think, has been even worse than that, as they've had a half a dozen penalties that have just penalize them more than the 15 yards that they're walking off. And in this case, putting Placer with just 34 seconds to go in position where a field goal would seem a certainty, and they have time to go ahead and try to punch it in as well.
They won half the distance that time. They break the huddle. Kelly goes in motion. They give it to Suggs. No, they give it to the second man through, Coastal Alexic. My bad. Suggs actually might have got down over the 2, but Alexic is stopped at about the 5. 20 seconds to play. The clock is running. 2nd and goal. And they spike it.
So 15 seconds to go. You run the ball, and if you don't make it, you go ahead and kick the field goal and go for 3, right? You got.
So, Phantom, correct me if I'm wrong. That was the first down play where they gave inside. The spike is the second down play. It's now 3rd down.
It's 3rd down. You run the ball, and if you don't make it, you have a timeout, and you can set up your field goal, I would think.
Yep.
So right now it would be a 24-yard field goal if they went that route. But again, you have a chance with 15 seconds and holding on to that timeout. You have a chance to go ahead and run a running play. Obviously, you don't want a penalty, but you can run your running play. Try to get your 7 yards, and if you don't, you have a timeout in your pocket.
There we go, 3rd down. They changed the box just like they should have right down there. 3rd and goal on the 7. They turn, they give it to Coastal Alexic around the end, and he's going to go on the end zone for a touchdown. What a play call by Joey Montoya with 10 seconds showing on the clock. 3rd and goal from the 7. They fake it to Suggs inside. They give it to Coastal Alexic, who punches in his 2nd touchdown of the night. He puts it in with just 10 seconds to play.
Yeah, and he got it played. We haven't seen that kind of daylight for a Placer running back in about 3 quarters. I don't know what part of it having that the field goal in the back pocket was doing for Joey Montoya, but he called that play with a lot of confidence right there. And they ran a play that didn't have any defense for it on the field.
You think Roseville's thinking Suggs is going to get this, but they went around the outside with Kosa Alexic. He gets a 2nd touchdown of the night. Ramirez is on for the extra point. Snap is down. Kick is down. It is blocked. And that's actually a big play now because it's a 3-point game with 10 seconds to go. So, Phantom, what a football game.
Yeah, it's an amazing football game, and I think that extra point won't come into play because of the only 10 seconds. But you got to give Placer a lot of credit for the second week in a row. Last week they were without Esty. Obviously they were without him the whole game today, but they were behind the 8 ball for about 2.5 or 3 quarters offensively, and they came out and they did enough in that series. And again, Roseville shoots themselves in the foot a couple of times with mistakes, penalties, roughing the passer penalty, pass interference penalty. But Placer comes out and they do what they have to do for the second straight time and give Craycraft and the offensive line a lot of credit.
An absolutely great job. A game they led 14-0, 21-7.
You can't get over that, can you? That 14-point lead. You just really can't get over that.
They were up by 14,
I
and they
heard
had
that,
13 unanswered points, and they really had just found a way. And then finally, Roseville went ahead 27-24, and Placer just answered.
So you kick it deep here, or do you go ahead and script it? I mean, you kick it deep, obviously, and they run it back. The game is over, 10 seconds. But you don't want to give them a chance, do you?
I think you want a hard squib because that forces the clock to actually run a little bit. If you watch the Kansas City Chief Buffalo Bills, they would tell you to go hard squib all day of the week.
That's not high school.
There we go. Kick
What a
is there.
kick.
They do go deep. And that is fielded in the end zone, which means that it will be brought out to the 20. That kickoff was brought to you by Auburn Trophies. You can visit Auburn Trophies at auburntrophies.com. That was a great kick that time by Jackson Ramirez.
The second extra point that was missed in the season, the second straight end zone kick that followed that missed extra point. And that's huge, like you say, because that puts them back on the 20-yard line. They got to go 80 yards in 10 seconds. So are they going to just try to throw the ball up in the air and hope for a pass interference penalty? Let's see.
This is where if you have a hook and ladder, you've got some kind of play that you got to bring it out right now. 10 seconds to go. Placer leads this one 30-27. Ball is right in the middle of the field. Senior quarterback Brandon Graydon is there. He comes into the huddle, gives his team the play. Roseville trailing this one now 30-27 after moving ahead for the first time earlier in the quarter, 27-24. They got 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. He throws to the 1 receiver out here, and the ball falls incomplete. It looked like a little miscommunication. He was going to number 7, Joel Bradley, and that falls incomplete. Just 6 seconds left to play.
Yeah, we were told Joel Bradley might be the fastest guy in the campus over there, but I think the thing there is he was going to catch the ball. He probably would have still been in bounds. They only have 1 timeout. They would have had to burn it right there. So maybe a little bit fortunate that didn't work out, and they're going to use that timeout right now.
The only thing, it looks like he would have had enough yardage for the first down, and then they could have just thrown it at the ground. But you're right. I mean, this is the last play of the game, and essentially is what they're setting up. 6 seconds to play. Placer 30, Roseville 27. Last week we have 37-35.
Yes.
The kicking games have been very important in both of these games.
I think that what Joey Montoya, the defensive coordinator, Eric Rodani, is probably saying, look, he throws the ball downfield, let them catch it. Just stand around them and stop them from moving after he catches it. Don't get a penalty because the game couldn't end on a defensive penalty.
This is really where you have your best tacklers and big athletes back at around the 30 or 40-yard line, your own territory, just to make a tackle and end the game.
And I put, this is what I do when I'm at home. I put 3 or 4 guys on the line of scrimmage and tell him to just go after the quarterback. If he doesn't have time to throw it, he can't throw it that far.
Where do you put the dog?
Well, the dog just sits wherever she wants to. Jack, why'd you have to bring that up?
Well, 3 receivers set left, 1 to the right. Graydon's going to throw there. Go a little wide receiver screen underneath. It's to O'Neal. O'Neal's got it. He's running upfield, and he is taken down. He fumbles. The ball is down. The game is over, and Placer has won again.
Unbelievable.
Last year, 5 games, 1 possession. They end up on the opposite side of it, but 2 weeks in a row, Placer has had a phenomenal finish, and this one they win 30-27. What a ball game.
Unlikely wins both weeks, I think. That last week was the big kick and the big interception. This week was the drive again, aided by some mistakes on the Roseville side, but Placer made enough plays and a great run by Alexa to win it.
And both games, touchdowns called off the board that would have been significant.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and end this one here. The final, Placer 30, Roseville 27. We come back with a post-game show. We'll give you some final stats, give you a player of the game. This is Placer football at 104.5 FM, AM 950, the voice of the foothills. Victory tonight by Placer. They're 2-0.
This is your home for Friday night football in the foothills, 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI.
The Placer Hillman and their student body congregate around the 30-yard line, and Phantom, a heck of a win tonight, 30-27 against a very game Roseville team.
For the second week in a row, it was evenly matched teams going at it, but give the Hillman the credit because they had backs against the wall both weeks and came up with big drives and pulled both these games out. As unlikely as it might seem, they are now 2-0, and you look back at that later on in the season, you're going to look back at preseason, and you got 2 wins against 2 playoff teams. It's going to look good on your resume.
Phantom, a lot of fun. Another great ball game tonight.
Fantastic.
We want to thank all of our sponsors. We want to thank both teams. We want to thank the coaching staffs on both sides, our friends here in the Placer press box that keep us honest. Tonight, Placer runs their record to 2-0 as they win 30-27 over the Roseville Tigers. You have listened to this broadcast on 104.5 FM, 950 AM, the voice of the foothills. This is Placer football.
Thank you for joining KAHI for tonight's game. We'd like to thank our sponsors who support Hillman football. Depot Bay Coffee, Keith Thomas State Farm Insurance, the Roseville Auto Mall, Mackey Heating and Air of Auburn, Meritage Auto Care, Mills Diner of Auburn, Robinson Sand and Gravel, Sierra Moon in Old Town, Spring Hill Suites by Marriott, Auburn Ford, and Auburn Trophies. We'll see you next Friday for Hillman football on KAHI.
Now you got a 1st and 20 for Placer. They're going right to left on your radio dial. Craycraft turns this time. He gives it inside. That looks like number 11, Baylor Kelly. And Baylor Kelly's got himself an edge. He's going all the way down. He's got a huge run down the far sideline. That was a huge run. A great answer on a 1st and 20. 3rd and 8. They turn this time. They give it to the second back through. That's Costa Electric. Electric is going to cut back, and he breaks the tackle at the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Hillman, what a job there. Fourth and 1 at the 9. 9 minutes to go. 3 backs to the right. It's going to be Graydon all the way, and he is going to. I don't know if he got it. It depends on the spot. The way Placer's celebrating, it does not look like they got it. This time they go a little counter play, and it's coming back in. Looks like it's Isaiah Hanley. No correction on that. Coastal Electric, and he's got it all the way down to the 30-yard line. A huge first down pickup. It's now 2nd and 8 at the 27. That's Baylor Kelly in motion. They give it to Suggs, and he's got himself a big hole. Just plows into the secondary and runs over number 8, Ethan Oakleberry, and they've got the ball 1st and goal. Placer Hillman inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal, 8-yard line. The motion man goes. They give it to Suggs again. They like it. His 3rd carry of the drive. He's in the end zone. Touchdown. With 6:21 to go here in the first quarter, Placer that started this drive on their own 9-yard line goes 91 yards in the end zone. Graydon back to pass. This time he steps up, fires. He's going deep down the sideline. One-on-one coverage. That's picked off. And guess who? Number 5, Isaiah Hanley. He's coming back the other way. His 3rd interception of the season. 2:16 to play here in the third quarter. This time Craycraft goes back to pass. Fires it upfield. He hits Maxwell, the tight end, on a crossing route. Maxwell taking people down with him, and he's got the fans fired up.
Baylor Kelly goes in motion. He takes the handoff. He's got a little bit of an edge.
He breaks the tackle at the 30 and goes all the way down to the 10-yard line. They give it to Baylor Kelly, the second back through. He's into the end zone, touchdown, and Placer has answered. Craycraft takes this pass, back to pass. He hits Maxwell, the big tight end. Caught at the middle of the field, about the 40-yard line. He's still breaking tackles. He goes all the way down to the 46-yard line, so Maxwell's been the target. That's his third catch of the night. Third and goal on the 7. They turn, they give it to Kosa Alexic around the end, and he's going to go on the end zone for a touchdown. What a play call by Joey Montoya with 10 seconds showing on the clock. What a ball game.